I saw him dancing naked at Sears.
You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting live from the John Wick Suite at the Continental Hotel, this is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Great Cougar Mooga, can't you hear us coming to you? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Wicked Theory Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Bill Sweeney, but you don't really give a shit. You want to know who I brought with me. And this week I got, as per usual lately, let's see, this guy, Ed.
Hell, I can get you a toe by 3 o'clock this afternoon with nail polish. These fucking amateurs.
Okay. And my brother Bob over on guitar. You heard a little bit of him already.
What's up, guys?
Ooh, country boy. So, yeah, what is that from, Ed?
That is a quote from Walter Sobchak, John Goodman's character in the film The Big Lebowski.
I had to come back to it because I knew I'd heard it. But also here is Agent Palmer. We pulled him up out of the laboratory. Oh, I haven't heard that.
Oh, that brings back memories.
I haven't heard that in a while, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it's been a while.
Jeez. So yeah, Palmer's gonna hang out with us a little bit today and shoot the shit. And I figured, let him up to the second floor where the windows are. He can get a little sun, maybe a little vitamin D, and it might perk him up. It's supposed to do wonders for your downers.
Yeah, give him some Scooby snacks.
Them too.
It's true.
Let him go to the pantry.
You had to wait until the sun went down to let me come up to see the windows.
Exactly. All right, we can let him above ground now, but there's no sun. It can't be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it all.
At least it's warm out.
Yeah, at least the weather is broken around here. You know what I mean? We went from snow and
We went from a 60-degree day to snow the very next day.
Right.
10 inches.
Yeah.
And then the next day it went up to 45 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And the day after that was 58.
Yeah.
And now it's like 60 degrees
now
today.
It's 60. Now it's basically springtime.
Yeah, we had a cold day yesterday, and now again.
So
Springtime for... No, don't want to finish that song.
No, you don't want to finish that one? Wait, who's it for? Who's it for? Springtime for Springsteen?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe I thought there was a Jersey reference of some kind.
If I say it out of context...
I think Ed was going all producers on us.
Oh, gee, because I didn't see that. Because I'm...
Of course, it was a Broadway.
Yeah, we knew it was... I know. I was playing it like... Palmer was like, no, wait, in case you didn't know, that was a producer's reference. And I'm like, shit, motherfucker, I knew.
Because he's our Baba Booey. He's got
to come in. Hey, Bolf. I don't know, Bolf, if you meant to make the mistake, Bolf.
You know what?
That's
Baba Palmer.
The Papa Palmer.
Some jokes are just for the people who get it.
That's true.
That's like the Dennis Miller theory. Everything I say, only 20% of the people will laugh at, but they will laugh so hard.
Babe. You gotta put babe.
Yes.
Babe on the end. Don't worry about it.
Babe.
Ed, that doesn't work well for growing your podcast audience. That's all I'm gonna say.
No.
Or sustaining a comedic career, evidently.
It's a slow growth game. We may not pick up a lot of people at once, but the ones we get will never leave.
So far, that's holding true. Let's talk about some of those people because they're in the chat room.
Yes,
these lovable bastards.
People like Wesley Ryan Gaskins,
Ooh,
Clint Thiel.
First one in the pre-show Periscope today.
I bet you I mispronounced that last name.
No, it's Thiel. No, actually, it is Thiel.
It's Thiel. Okay.
Yeah. We had a conversation about it.
Our guest from last week, Jason Uncle Jay Chickalese.
That's right.
And John Zombie John Thompson.
How cool was it last week with Uncle Jay?
That was great. I
don't want to blow too much smoke up his ass.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of talking going on last week.
Yeah. What's funny?
There was a lot of listening.
I mentioned
too.
I mentioned before we went on the air. I'm starting to read his comments in the chat in his voice, and it's hysterical.
Yeah, you actually got wistful because when he came in, you were like, "Oh, Uncle Jay's there," and I was like, "Did your pitch just change when you said that?"
Hey, Ed, speaking of Uncle Jay, did he actually did he give you a friend request on Facebook?
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Okay.
did. I haven't acted.
Did you get
that.
one, Bill?
I didn't know I was going to go to Facebook. I thought that might ended up with hand job.
Yeah,
I thought you
no.
were asking if he gave him. Because these guys, they
No.
got deep.
Yeah.
He friended me on Facebook,
Yeah,
but
they were almost making out after the show.
I'm doing the cool swingers
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I'm gonna wait about a week before I
okay.
respond to him. You know,
Oh, right. It's like the first, second date rule, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So big thanks to him. If you didn't hear it, check that out when you get a chance. Uncle Jay hung out with us last week. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
But
that was a good
what's the deal for this week? We got a show to do, right? So this is episode 93. I guess that's a thing.
Yep.
Episode 100 is approaching soon. I think in the next episode or two, we'll have something kind of official thing to give everybody the heads up on what's going on there. Ed cracking up. The chat room got you going?
Yeah, no, just Jay.
Not the
Just
whole
Jay.
room, just Jay. I believe it.
In the middle
Jay's
of that
got like a
whole rant,
paragraph
he just goes, "Keep blowing."
Keep. I like this. So thanks for that, buddy. So this episode we're gonna have some pitch versus pitch. We actually have an email. Someone sent in an email playing along. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give away the big surprise. It's not that big a surprise in a way, but I don't think this person's emailed us before in general. So that was cool. We'll see that. We got some news. Get maybe some other emails if there's anything in there. We got some. Meanwhile, we're gonna have a secret surprise taste test thing in a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing's
I just ate, Bill.
For two products.
I will
that's all we
say
need to
that they are both quasi nostalgia related, kind of, in a way.
That's
more than the
pretty
other.
good description.
It's good for one more than the other, but we'll get to
They're
it.
off the wall. Let's say that.
I just want to know if Palmer's going to be eating the same things where he's at.
Well, he has one of the items.
He has one of the items.
He doesn't have the other.
So for a thing that didn't seem like it was going to be this
Yes.
put together, it suddenly feels like
Well,
like a bit.
There's food and beverage. He has the beverage.
You know, it's amazing how much people will work when food's involved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll get a little bit more into that when it comes to. the moment.
So whose idea was this though? This.
Oh, I don't know. It just kind of like popped up and
It
someone
just
said.
it just
Was it?
randomly just
Yeah,
came
it
off the top of the.
It just occurred.
It just
you know.
popped
It
up-
popped up in a spam?
It popped up in the document.
You
or
know the way
something?
writers' rooms work.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
one
yeah.
really gets credit
Things
for any
just bubble to
idea.
the
No,
surface.
it's Google Docs.
Oh,
it's open
no
to
one
everybody.
gets credit, but I know exactly who's getting the blame.
Points.
All right, so with that, anything else before we move on?
I think it's time to move on.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about who's in the chat. We did that, really, right?
Yeah. So we got our hashtag game.
We got a little bit thing.
Yeah. So our chat game, for the hashtags.
Are you catching my vibe here, Ed? Do you see what I'm doing here with this one?
Yes, you're teeing it up for me.
Okay,
Is that
very
it?
good. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So the hashtag game is reality TV horror.
Yeah.
Throw those in the chat room and bring it to Twitter. So some examples might include A Nightmare on Jersey Shore, America's Next Top Hellraiser, or Tiny House on the Left. That last one was brought to us by Sammy Steph Muniz.
Yeah, that was passed along through
Yes.
official channels by one way or another.
And throw those in the chat. Agent Palmer will do his helping hand and throws those in our doc for us to read.
He'll help out. He'll corral.
And throw them on Twitter too. Just hashtag it reality TV horror and hashtag it Wicked Theory.
Yeah. Not just the ad, but the actual hashtag Wicked Theory. This way, if people ever hashtag anything Wicked Theory, they'll stumble across stuff that relates to us. Maybe we'll build this show that way.
Yep.
I don't know. Am I over-explaining? I'm probably over-explaining. But that's what I do. All right? Is that fine? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, good. All right. So speaking of explaining, kind of nerd-splaining, we do a thing called Meanwhile, which is basically where we just kind of like tell you like some stuff that we did or saw during the week that we're like feel like mentioning.
Yep.
Usually it's TV, movies. So
just random pop culture we've consumed this week.
Yeah, well, I just feel like for this one, it's because I'm late to the train. I'm late on the
Just
train.
rehashing the same old garbage to be forces down our throats every day.
Well, that's what's good about this. I'll tell you what. What's funny is that that's kind of a segue because I'm talking about Fargo this week, the TV series.
I'm excited for this because I'm up to date on this show. I
So
wonder how
I'm
far
only
you get.
3 episodes in.
Oh, but
But it's one of these ones where it's like everybody was talking about it, where it's like, oh, you gotta check it out, So Dom is watching it right now.
But they're so dense. Like one episode is like 4 of any other show.
I really was like, man, I could probably rewatch that. Because one of the things about it is you don't kind of, at least for me anyway, maybe I'm not right on this, but I saw the movie, so I know it's up north, and everybody's got like, hey, don't you know, it's, well, no, Dan, we can't do it, Dan, no, Dan, put the gun down, Dan. You know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's all this Minnesota accent. It's real thick and heavy on some people, and then others not, but it's small town crime shit. Stories keep taking bad left turns, fucking that kind of thing. But so on this, you kind of, so if you know the movie, you kind of come in knowing the kind of tone, but the story's not the same.
No.
So, but Billy Bob's in this one.
Yes.
And so once you kind of get a feel of the humor and the tone that it's going, and you settle in with it, it's almost all over. Like, or halfway through, like I'm like, okay, I got it. It's black comedy,
like
and
that first
drama, like leveled out together.
That first episode is like an hour and a half long.
Yeah,
and it takes. But once that first half like unfolds.
Well, here's the thing too. Like you're meeting everybody in the town, and because they're such weird kind of people, they're all very kind of hey, don't you know, and simple and stuff. You know, everything's very basic. That like it takes a while to settle in with that. I mean, maybe that's because of me, because I'm a fucking city boy. I'll take that.
Eh?
Yeah, you know, and we're gonna get to it.
Canada.
You know? Yeah, it's one of these things.
But like Billy Bob just cuts through all that.
Yeah, and Billy Bob, like you know, it's just it's in the writing. Like it's so smart. Like you know, because he doesn't choose scenery or like you know his penetrating gaze and his icy stare, like isn't an icy stare right away, but they hold on it so long that it eats into you. Like because at first I'm like, it's just Billy Bob, and I'm like, oh, they're not pulling away. Okay, you know,
it's almost like a Family Guy moment.
Yeah, a little bit. It was a moment like it felt like that for me.
And like that's a show, especially in those
Early.
you know later episodes.
Okay,
you know, but even you have to pay attention.
Well,
like
that's what Don was saying to me.
You have to, because like there's stuff going on. Like there's deep focus in this where there's 2 things happening at once. There's something going on in the background. That doesn't have that much of the story, but is so cool and interesting.
Yeah. And it seems like things might come back around too. Like stuff that's in the first episode that might just kind of be not have a lot to do with anything. Could all have an extra importance that you just don't realize yet.
And the second season is interesting because it's the same town, but it's like 20 or 30 years earlier.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to all that because what happened with this show for me was that like I stumbled into a season 2 episode that was just starting, like it literally was the beginning of the episode, and you know, if you've seen you'll know exactly what episode I'm talking about. Yeah. But it's like the 3rd or 4th one of the season, and shit is just insane in the woods for the first fucking 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes.
And I
remember you watching that.
What the fuck is this show? And so I always meant to get to it. And so I'm on that now. I'm very excited.
I thought Brad Garrett was a nice guy. You know?
Yeah, who knew? Like, you know, that guy.
But
and it's filled with
he's only 25 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's filled with a lot of that too. Familiar faces are usually playing shifty or just weird.
Like really out of place for them.
Yeah. Because actually, who Bob might dig on this, who's in it too, is playing the sheriff. Well, the deputy who becomes the chief is from. Oh, look, we're losing
Patrick Wilson.
We're gonna lose Palmer. We juiced him. Too much juice. His phone just died, I think. Is Better Call Saul. I couldn't think of his name.
Bob Odenkirk.
Odenkirk is in it.
It's just a drifter.
Yeah, it's just it's just a drifter.
It's
just let it go. Let it go.
I'm really working on that.
It's all going to be okay if you just let it go. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't stop asking questions.
It sounds like a show I should just be listening to so I can learn the accent.
Yes.
Oh my god. But like
Billy, you know what? Give me a few weeks.
But Billy
I
Bob
have access to a lot right now.
Fair enough.
Billy Bob Thornton in that show and in Goliath, you know that guy. I think I've said this before, but He's about 110 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
But he is fucking scary.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
see him
yeah.
on screen in both those parts, and he just looks at you and says, he'll look at a character and just say, "Don't make me beat your ass," and you're fucking afraid. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the way they play it.
And in Fargo, it's even worse because he's come on screens and you just know it's gonna hit the fan. You're like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? What's going on?"
And you got to also remember when someone says something like that in a show like this,
Yeah.
it is North Dakota.
Yeah.
You could bury them somewhere in the snow and they would never be found.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And that's a actually story component. So let's. But
Yeah.
anyway, so check out Fargo if you haven't already.
Yes.
If you were waiting around, you're looking for something right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth it. I'm calling back Palmer. That's why I was a little distracted. Palmer,
Yeah.
I can't hear you. And now, Palmer, give us a good old hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you
Hey,
doing?
it's nice
All
to
right.
see you real live.
Have you seen Fargo yet?
I have not.
All right. So,
All right. So on to my meanwhile.
All right. Yeah. So on to you, I guess.
I actually I've been really consumed with this Oscar challenge that I've.
Oh my gosh!
put
With
upon
your Oscar
myself.
challenge.
Yeah, I'm sure people want to know the updates.
All right.
and,
Let's
and
roll them off. What movies did you see
Now
this week?
I saw Tony Erdmann, which is a 3-hour German comedy. I know.
Oh, my.
I know. Like no two of those things go together.
Well, at least you're aware.
German comedy.
Yeah.
So it was experimental film is what you were watching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But giving it a try.
But Jack Nicholson and Kristen Wiig have signed on to star in the American remake.
Oh, okay. So
this tells you this one is really good.
this one is so good they're gonna ruin it for us.
Yes.
I got you. No,
Yes.
that's a pretty good barometer. to
And
go by.
all I will say is to pull off this part, Kristen Wiig needs to have some real balls,
Oh,
and she's got to
that's how that goes.
Because
Is she
there's
playing a male character?
all I'll say is this scene, the climax of this movie, is the funniest nude scene in history, like at least that I've ever come across.
Okay. All right.
And the movie doesn't really work without it, so I'm really interested to see how they handle that, because evidently German film audiences
Okay.
think of the human body in a different way than we do.
Well, I think. Well, maybe you weren't aware, but they think of a lot of bodily stuff in a different way.
Yeah. Well, it's the bravery, man. It's
That's
just like,
that's what I
whoa.
mean. It's the
Yeah.
bravery. Like, who would do that in a bedroom of all places? Think about the furniture. Okay.
Think about where
yeah.
the furniture will end up.
Yeah, but Tony Erdmann
This stuff wasn't brown when I
today
bought it. I'm sorry, I had to.
earlier today I saw an Italian documentary called Fire at Sea. It's verite, which means if your eyes aren't open, you fall asleep.
Cinema verite.
No, verite is where they put a camera someplace and act like they don't exist. So like there's no explaining. There's
Wait,
no
the people or the camera?
the film crew.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no talking heads, there's no title cards.
Right.
You really just have to it's human life in front of you and you have to sift through and figure out what's going on.
Because when it's documentary style, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. There's no hand holding. It's just hopefully
Yeah.
we've laid out the story.
These are the people these are the subjects,
Right.
and you're just going to need to figure it out. And it's in this weird
Basically,
fishing.
they're just giving them a topic. They go on, and then it's like, okay, we're not going to edit
Yeah.
this. So
Right.
just be aware of that.
And it's in this
Well,
fish.
I think it's all in the edit is what it comes down to, really.
And it's in this fishing town in the Mediterranean.
Okay. I was gonna.
There's a lot of African refugees.
I think Bob's sleeping is putting me.
Yeah.
But
The stuff I have left, and this is why
okay,
I'm excited
let's
because
boogie down.
I've
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
this 3 times and failed. So,
Okay.
but it's in sight. Like I can taste it, Bill.
Oh, you're close.
Yeah.
You're getting close.
Yeah,
How many you got left? Do you think?
So there's 22 left.
And how much time you got left?
I've got a week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow.
So-
22
so
movies left.
8 days.
All right,
So,
so let me ask you this:
When you
now.
leave tonight, are you going to watch a movie?
when are you going? When are your days off coming up?
I'm off tomorrow and on Monday because of the holiday.
Okay, so basically, you should be going right from here back
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
to watch movies.
You know.
I would
Oh,
watch
yeah.
I would watch like 8-9 hours of it tonight. and
Oh,
watch
yeah.
all day
Now
tomorrow.
it's a little misleading because
Don't you know?
of those 22, 14 of them
Yeah.
are the nominated short films.
Oh.
Oh.
So
So
Don't
what's that,
you know?
Like,
Talk everything like
half
Fargo.
hour?
well, they're all playing at the IFC Center in Manhattan, and I could only do this if I'm living in New York or LA.
Yeah, well, that's the
kind of
thing.
like the
Like,
thing.
yeah.
But I'm going to go to the
maybe Austin.
If anyone wants to hang out with me tomorrow,
Fly up.
if you're listening after the podcast drops, it's too late. But Sunday, I'm going to be at the IFC Center in Manhattan watching all the short films.
Well, I'll let you know now, Ed. Everyone in our chat is coming from a different area of the world.
Maybe Palmer if he really, really wanted to.
Yeah, like even that means like
or Uncle Jay, get on that path train.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
There we go. What do you say, Jay?
Oh shit.
But we got but then besides that, there's Elle, which is a French film, has a Best Actress nomination, 2 animated films. Allied, which I don't know, it comes out on DVD like 2 days after the awards. So
you've been doing his dance with this freaking movie. Like it's the only one like you really feel like you have to watch because what? Like you feel like it's gonna win or it's gonna get it's gonna get.
Well, no, because like I need to see everyone that's nominated, and it's on the list, and I missed it when it was in theaters.
Well, hurry up and finish so you can get going.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I know. You're waiting for it to come out.
Yeah, I need access to it.
Fair enough. All right. Well,
you
could just hang out.
We're gonna have to get
access to it.
We're gonna have to get We're gonna have to
do it legally.
We're gonna have to get a producer who can work on these kinds of things or something.
I don't know. And then there's
you have to put out feelers to the industry and be like, can we get screeners?
Yeah. This is true.
This is true. We are technically a media outlet.
I may need to join AMPAS.
Palmer, get on that.
Oh shit.
And then there's I Am Not Your Negro, which is a documentary, and 3 foreign films.
Okay. All right. So you got your hands full, buddy.
Yeah.
So
but it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Well, I think what you have to do is you need to. Is there any way that you can stack the deck so that the ones you feel like you really want to see, you get out of the way first, and it's like, okay, it's done. Like, and the only ones I didn't get to, I wasn't really into.
I kind of did that.
Okay, fair enough. You're in that zone already.
I kind of did that. Like now is the home stretch.
Right. It's all gravy from here on.
Yeah,
it's all bonus.
Like once I see the shorts tomorrow, and then I'm gonna go to the Angelica and maybe do a triple feature on Monday.
All right.
After that, like it's
on.
Yeah.
It's on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that kind of like really kind of pushes us into a thing we teased before. A little taste test.
Oh yes.
A little thing we haven't done in a while.
All right. So I'm gonna
taste test.
I'm gonna get us cups in the drink.
Yeah. Fear in your belly, I guess is like the theme. All right, so since Palmer is queued up in this other device here, he's actually.
Well, whatever we're doing with Palmer, let's let Palmer go first.
So yeah, Palmer is gonna play along for part of this. So I will say that we have in the house cookies and soda.
Crystal Pepsi.
So here's the thing. I feel like in a real world we would need a palate cleansers type setup for this. Because it's like...
because I got a diet soda right here.
That's more soda, but whatever. Because that was my point. Was like I was going to make... It was like we're going to go from Oreo cookies to soda. And then you're like, well, I got soda in the middle.
Nah, I think I say...
Yeah, but this soda's not going to taste anything like that.
No, fair enough.
You take a sip of the soda, then you have the cookies.
All right, so what do we got here? Open up those cookies. Let's get that rolling.
Okay, so the cookies we have are on recommendation, or sort of like anti-recommendation from my sister Irene, who's in town. She said she had these at her office, and you could smell them before you opened the bag, and it was horrible from then.
Oh my god, that's not good.
They're birthday cake Oreos.
Well, I never had them, and I've had birthday cake.
Man, that is strong. Just sniff those, Bob.
Wow. I got cavities just inhaling that.
Yeah,
it's just like you might as well just stick your nose into a pound of sugar.
You probably didn't have to buy 2 of these, Ed. By the way, this is
kind of like Scarface.
So, but
probably not. But
we'll
just wanted to be safe.
No, but we'll keep one here.
So let's start off with the Crystal Pepsi.
All right.
So Crystal Pepsi, is this a diet drink or is this a regular soda?
No, this is straight up. This is clear cola.
Okay,
so now, Agent Palmer, if you may, this was your bright idea, right?
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
So like you're barely taking any credit for it now?
I
Really?
I saw it on a shelf and I said it would be interesting to for these guys to taste test this stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Now, just to give some background, I get a call from him during the week, and he's like, you guys should really do this. Like, he's giving me an assignment.
Right,
And, like, he goes through all this, and I'm like, did Bill approve this?
Did Bill send
And he
you?
goes, well, And I'm like, no, I don't know.
That's not really an answer.
And then, like, later in the week, I'm like, he calls me again, and, like, I spoke to you once. And it didn't come up in conversation.
Right.
And I'm thinking he's like egging me on. You got to make sure you stop by the grocery store and get this. I'm like, is it available in New York? I didn't know.
Sure.
Because that's what happened with the Swedish fish. We were gonna get them, and then evidently it was at like some Gelman's or something like that.
Yeah, you had to go sell your body for them.
Yeah, I had to get them on Amazon.
Yeah, actually, I got to get them on Amazon. So, all right, so fair enough. So this is Palmer's bit. The cookies were yours.
Yeah.
Palmer's responsible for the soda.
Wait. This is Palmer's bit?
The soda idea, the Crystal Pepsi, comes from Major Palmer.
Yeah. Now, this is supposed to be just clear soda.
But he's got some, too.
Oh, he does. Okay.
So he's...
Just check it.
I don't see it yet. I got the camera on. There you go. Okay.
So Palmer, since this was your idea,
Bill, it's clear.
You should make the toast.
He's just got water in there. Don't be fooled.
What are we drinking to?
What's the occasion, Palmer?
Making it to episode 100.
There you go.
Okay.
Now,
So to hedging our bets.
he's dooming us, basically. Okay.
Yeah. Why not?
Not as offensive as it should be.
It's not quite Pepsi.
Well, it's definitely not Pepsi.
It
almost tastes like cola, but it's just weird. It's like I should be tasting something
You know
else.
what? You know what this
When
tastes
I
a little
drink
watered down.
You know what? This is missing.
Bill's
Bill's bringing out the Grey Goose.
Yeah, it's missing. It's missing vodka. That's the problem.
That's it.
See, that's what it's missing is alcohol.
It's
and because,
definitely different.
You know what I was thinking instantly? Like because it's such a clean taste, like it might just be really good
Yeah.
for alcohol.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? But there's only one way to find out.
But
so.
before we do that,
Before I get drunk? Okay.
would you like a taste of birthday cake Oreo?
Yeah, I'm working on the vodka and Pepsi Clear, okay? let me just break that down for you.
I just have one question. This isn't horrible, but how did it fail so miserably way back when?
I think it was just they weren't used to variations. It was just you didn't have sub branding, so it was just any kind of change was like
this was also
fuck
part
you.
of a trend in clear at the time in the 90s where I don't think any of it really kind of caught on in any way.
No.
So Bob's about to his teeth are going to run out of his head, I think, from these cookies.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, the smell.
It's like licking frosting.
I mean, essentially that's what we are doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what an Oreo really always
I don't
was.
really even
but-
taste the Oreo. All I taste is the frosting.
Palmer,
Now I'm
Yeah.
tasting Oreo.
I know you can't sample this with us. I wish that you could.
All he's got to do is get his ass down to the store.
Well, the cream is a lot softer than
Yes, it is.
regular Oreo.
How does it compare to the wrongity of Swedish Fish Oreos?
Well, it's not as wrong.
No, it's just super sweet.
Yes.
This has got a lot of compacted sweetness in it. And I think, much like the Oreo, the other ones, you'd have to be the kind of person who's like really into this whole birthday cake flavored stuff.
It's literally like they just put enough of something in the sugar to make the sugar turn into paste.
Well, it reminds me of like cake batter ice cream.
Well, it's literally, it could just be
Yeah.
icing. I could just get cake icing out of the cabinet
yeah, and it would probably be
Probably
the same.
taste almost
and
exactly
have
the
a
same.
better, probably have a better experience too.
So let me ask this question then. You say it's very sweet. So what would you suggest people cut it with to make
I
it
got the
more
answer right here.
tolerable?
I got the answer right here. Vodka and Pepsi Clear. Which, by the way, as a review on that,
Yes.
basically just tastes like sweetened vodka.
Yeah.
Because it has no real back taste. That's the thing with the
Right.
Pepsi Clears. It's almost like I feel like I'm drinking carbonated syrup.
Kind of, but
'Cause it doesn't
like
have
you
a
said,
lot
without there's nothing left behind.
There's no real personality to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting anything. It almost just feels like they forgot to put in the flavor.
And for me, it's I'm looking at it and
Yeah.
I'm expecting Sprite.
Right.
And then when it hits my lips, it's not. So that's drawing me
For
off
me,
too.
I kept on thinking of seltzer. Like I kept on feeling like I was going to get club soda taste, kind of a thing going on.
Yeah.
But that's like an instinct. But and that's what I kind of feel like
but
this is now.
But it's more powerful than seltzer.
Yeah, I feel like that's what this is, though. This is like less of that taste that seltzer has, and we've just replaced that flavor with just sugar, But as a thing to make the vodka go down easier, I can take it. So
Bill, do you prefer this to regular Pepsi with your vodka?
wow, probably not,
Okay.
because now this just tastes like straight alcohol, where it's like, what is this, watered down? This is like watered down mineral spirits.
Yeah.
What is this?
I mean, I really,
But
because I was about 5 when
Yeah.
Crystal Pepsi came out originally.
you were alive.
Yeah.
That alone is kind of like a surprise to me.
But I do remember, I love the 90s, going to town on this stuff.
I love the 90s.
I remember Michael Ian Black getting particularly upset, describing it as saliva.
Well,
saying it looked like saliva.
I'm glad you waited till I was done sipping on some of it to say that. I really, really am. Palmer, how's it working for you, buddy?
It's it's drinkable because it's right next to me and it's open, but I don't think I'm ever going to buy another bottle again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a novelty.
Well, they have it in cans too. Don't worry.
Like most novelty foods. You try it once, and that's enough.
I got to finish this cookie, so say something.
Yeah.
Something.
Give it a rating.
So, yeah, I mean, ratings. I mean, what are
Ratings on each,
Like,
so...
the soda like 2.5. The cookies like 3.
2.5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works about for me.
Where it's okay, but it's not a recommendation.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of 3 for the cookies because the cookies are edible.
Yeah.
They're just really, really sweet and that'll throw you off. If you're 9 or 7 or whatever, that's
Yeah.
great.
That's like gold.
Yeah,
That's
like
eating gold.
like
as a
I'm gonna
kid.
say Pepsi Clear is like a passing. It's like just passing for me.
Yeah.
It's like a D, and then the Oreos are about a C or a C plus.
I'm jiving with all this. They,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say I'll give the Crystal Pepsi a 2.5 out of 5, but Uncle Jay in the chat said that Crystal Pepsi is to soda what Zima was to alcohol,
Oh,
and
sure.
I just want to let him know that I saw an article today that said Zima's coming back.
I don't think Zima really went away. I think it's just been
Just
like one of
went
these things.
It just went to the.
They just couldn't
same
afford the
stores
ads
that
anymore.
Sell malt liquor.
Well, it's one of these things where it's like, it just kind of falls out of trend, and so the company still makes it. It's just not big here. I'm sure it's
Right.
big probably over in Europe or some shit, And it's like, hey, I can't find fucking Crazy Horse malt liquor everywhere I go,
Right.
but I know
No.
they're making it somewhere.
Oh, you go down south, you don't get Dr. Pepper. You ask for Mr. Pibb.
There you go.
So I think the overall consensus on
Yeah,
both
yeah.
the Crystal
Sure.
Pepsi and the birthday
let's
cake
get official. Yeah.
Oreos is should you buy it? If you wanna.
I say it makes a good mixer, basically, or a good base for mixing alcohol,
Right.
and the Oreo cookies are basically for kids.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
good point Bob made. Like, kids love that kind of craziness.
Yeah.
Like, I could have one or two, but it's not like I'm going to sit there and devour a whole package. Actually, that might be a good way to keep me from eating all the regular Oreos. Regular Oreos, I'll devour the whole thing.
Hide a couple of these in a box.
Yeah. And once you get to it, like, oh, speed bump. Okay, I got to slow down.
Like every 4th cookie, every 5th cookie.
It's a fucking-
Well, the problem with every 4th cookie is Bill would be like, you know what? I know I got at least another 2 or 3 good ones after this.
I'm just eating around them. Let's be honest.
Well,
I'm just
yeah.
going to skip. I can see with the rainbow sprinkles which ones are different.
And
I'm
what they
skipping.
got to do is do like Jelly Belly did with the jelly beans.
And have like literal like landmines basically in
Yeah,
the package where
really.
it's like, oh, the vomit Oreo, great, thanks. I really appreciate that. Was great. Oh man. So
Make you eat work through the box a sleeve at a time, and
Yeah.
in each sleeve.
Is
In
a
each
hidden-
section is a couple dude, you're eating too many.
right. This is the slow down point.
Yeah,
One of them's got a
dieters-
piece of glass in it.
The Dyer's Oreo cookie box.
All right. So all right, that was pretty cool. We haven't done any food stuff in a while. Yeah, let's do. Let's go in the chat room because those guys were playing around with the game for a little while.
Yeah.
So we had a
gotta have
hash.
some good ones by now.
We had a hashtag game going. Reality TV
That's
horror.
slowed down, right? The hashtag game.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see what we got in there for that.
So the hashtag game was reality TV horror,
Okay,
and so here's some of
mashing
the.
up those two.
I got one.
Yeah.
We got one. What do you got, Bob?
Yeah. Nightmare on Fast and Loud.
There you go.
Well, here's some. I'm just gonna throw these out there. You tell me what you think. All in the Hostel.
I like it right out the gate.
666 and pregnant.
Ooh.
Who wants to be a predator?
I'm gonna watch all of these so far.
Keeping up with the Voorhees.
Nice.
There you go.
Slasher Wives. Keeping up with the Krugers.
Sure.
Cutting with the Slashers.
All right.
The Last Survivor.
Okay.
I think that's actually a show.
There's so many like put you on an island
Yeah.
shows now.
Yeah.
Discoveries and whatnot.
Dead Girls Club.
Okay. All right.
Night of the Teen Mom.
Night of the Team. Okay.
This is good. This is good before and
All
after
right,
wordplay
don't
right
oversell
here.
it. What do you got?
Drag Me to Hell's Kitchen.
Ooh, nice. Nice. Hell's Kitchen.
Are
Take me to hell.
you deadlier than a fifth grader?
I like that one.
Here Comes Freddy Boo Boo.
Freddy Boo Boo. little kid Freddy.
Yeah.
I like it.
Zombie Apocalypse House Flipping. Real Stories of Hell's Highway Patrol.
Nice. That's good. I want that one.
Ernest Beyond Scared Straight.
Okay.
And John and Kate plus 8mm.
Ooh. The Nick Cage movie?
Who will grab the gun first?
And I Spit on Your Cake, Boss.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. There's a lot of gems in there. Oh,
Yes,
Jesus.
yes, and everyone in the chat room. We had John Thompson, we had Uncle Jay, Wesley Ryan Gaskins, Clint Thiel.
Very good. Everybody was playing along.
Thank you so much, everybody, for contributing.
Thanks for playing, kids. We got another
Very
one
good,
coming up.
very good, guys.
Another one's going to spin
Lot
out
of
of the
fun.
news in a couple of minutes once we get to it. But speaking of news, I think that's where we're going next. The news.
All right. Someone's not taking the hint.
Well, it's all right. It's the craziest thing every time.
I got to keep this thing down.
Well, that's true. That's the truth too. News o'clock.
All right, so we talked
I
about.
was singing for you, Ed.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, that's it.
So Scalped.
Scalped.
The Scalped TV show.
Scalped is a Vertigo comic book.
Yes.
Vertigo Comics.
Mm-hmm.
It's finished its run. It's in trade paperback,
Yes.
graphic novel form.
By
Really good.
Written by Jason Aaron.
Yeah, it's getting a TV show.
Yes, on WGN America, and they have cast their lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex Mraz, who you would know as one of the guys from who didn't talk in the SEAL team in Suicide Squad.
And also one of the wolves that didn't howl in the Twilight movies.
Yes.
I was wondering how we were going to set those up.
Yes.
Yeah, but
you know what?
hey,
Everyone needs a break.
Everyone needs a break.
So what the show's going to be like when it goes to his character? Just dead silence. You hear crickets in the background.
Maybe that's why. Maybe he's a lot more soft-spoken.
Maybe it's going to be a running joke on the show.
He's a lot more soft-spoken than he was in the comic.
Although maybe it's just me, but with American Indian characters,
Yeah.
the less they talk, the scarier they are.
Well-
So that might actually play into it.
Well, I think for you, that might be just in general. You like so if you're so afraid of Billy Bob and Fargo, but what's kind of cool too is that obviously I don't know if you have a description of the show in that article. In that
A
breakdown?
modern-day crime story set in the world of a Native American reservation. Scalped explores power, loyalty, and spirituality in a community led by the ambitious Chief Lincoln Red Crow as he reckons with Dashiell Badhorse, who has returned home after years away from the reservation. The Native American casting will be a first for a television series in recent history.
Yeah, so it's going to be obviously properly cast, and it's going to be mostly. I mean, the book is mostly takes place on the reservations and deals with all their inner workings and stuff. And they've got a
yeah.
casino,
But
so they've got like a
there's-
little bit of kind of like an internal mob kind of angle, kind of going like a little bit of a crime thing going on.
The way I've heard this described, it's like Sons of Anarchy on an Indian reservation. It's got a very like
Kind of.
Sopranos, Game of Thrones
Yeah, well,
kind
it's,
of vibe to
yeah,
it.
it's definitely where you're steeped in a lot of crime and stuff like
So there's
that.
a lot of swearing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and so I
A lot of
think.
fuck.
Well, I don't. Well, yeah,
Well,
yeah, to a
yeah.
degree,
Yeah.
to a good degree,
Cocksucker motherfucker.
a little
Bill,
bit.
Well,
Hey,
actually,
prick.
it's more just blood everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot
Just-
of that. It's like in this casino, we don't cut off your hand; we take your scalp.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not paying attention? Were you guys talking about John Wick too?
Not everything. I know it was really good, man, but not everything can come back to
Well, I'm
good
sorry.
old
It's just,
Johnny Wick.
yeah, when you say like massive amounts of bloodshed, I just start thinking of that.
Yeah.
What do you got, Palmer?
I was gonna say, is this is gonna be WGN's second,
Third.
third.
Yeah.
So, is this enough to make them a, I don't know, destination network, or do they still need more?
Are they a contender?
Well, I'll tell you what, though. They are kind of doing a certain kind of pattern where, you know, Outsiders is a bunch of outsiders on a mountain. The Underground is all about the Underground Railroad, and now you're going to have a show basically about some American Indian tribes and some Native Indian tribes, I should say, or whatever the phrase is. So it's like, they are going for outside the box, definitely, and the whole, I don't know, but it definitely is left of center, so like they're not wasting their time on like regular kind of, maybe procedurals or straightforward kind of dramas, or like they're definitely going for things that have like some kind of hard hook without being like, a sci-fi show or something that's crazy over budget for
Right.
them. Like,
Well, I think this is smart for them because it's a way for them to try and find good shows
right.
and possibly get a home run.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. You
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's in line with their brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has a very similar feel to shows like Outsiders, but it's in a completely different setting.
Yeah, I mean, and then
And,
people also point to Outsiders. It's Sons of Anarchy on a mountain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is, fair enough in its description. I don't know about execution all the time, but, that's how these things are. So I've read the first couple of trades of this. It's been a while, but it's really good. So if anybody's looking for something maybe to dip into and do some comics reading of a show that's coming up, maybe this is a good one. So this is a good thing to maybe dabble into. It's Jason Aaron, who these days is really lauded for his runs on Thor and a whole bunch of other stuff. We're big fans, actually. Me and Bob of Southern Bastards. We've heard us mention that. This is one of his projects
Very good.
before
Very
that.
good.
So he's good. He's really
And,
good.
I have not read this book as much, but I do know Jason Aaron's a great storyteller, and I'm interested to see what they do. And I this is something. Hey, man, if you're looking for other recap podcasts, let's scalping scalped.
What?
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
What are you calling it?
Scalping scalped,
Okay.
or scalp versus scalp.
Yeah,
if you want to
with-
keep it that
Well,
brand.
you know me with names.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go back to the tank on that one, I think.
SVS, yeah. So next up,
That was good, Palmer. Do your thing if you got it.
Next up, meanwhile.
So what's in the next? Oh, this one. Bob, I don't know if Bob saw this, but he'll be
Bill,
jazzed for this one.
you take this.
All right, so
Yeah.
they just announced
Yeah.
that J.J. Abrams
Yeah.
and Stephen King
yeah.
are working out with Hulu a new anthology-type series based on
Yeah.
Castle Rock and all the stories
Okay.
that take place there through
Right.
Steve's stuff.
So like Seinfeld and When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men.
Well, now you're thinking of the Castle Rock production company,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is Rob Reiner,
No.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Rob Reiner got the idea for the Castle Rock production company.
because
It was
Misery was his first
Right.
took place out there.
You're right. It's one of the towns that have always been plagued by misery in his novels.
Okay.
But
So this is not a Rob Reiner
no,
love fest.
no, you cutesy little bastard, you. No, you coy son of a bitch.
You know, you just ruined my day.
Yeah, trust me, that's not going to happen. So, I think the loose idea here, like they put out a teaser
Right.
trailer for it.
So it's-
So you see character names as we kind of like wind through.
Right. So it's gonna be like we're gonna see the town living and existing,
Right.
and how the town is affected by the stories, the people and the stories
So like
from Stephen King.
So it'll run like with an anthology kind of flavor where like tangential characters will reappear because they all live in the same town. So, conceivably, Annie Wilkes and Pennywise are all, who knows exactly if they'll cross and interact, but those stories conceivably,
right. You might hear a character
happen.
talking about, hey, you remember when that kid went missing and they never found him?
Well, the thing about this, like if you saw Needful Things, the movie, that's a thing that'll probably be in here. So that store can operate and tangentially tie into all kinds of other stories we'll see, or other characters.
Yeah, didn't they try doing a series with Needful?
There was a movie, and they might have been trying to make it a series too, because it feels like a series.
Short-lived series.
It feels like a series.
Yeah, because that's definitely like an '80s, early '90s sci-fi.
Yeah, it feels like like someone took a version of Friday the 13th, the series, and just reworked it or something.
Right, yeah.
Although I'm interested to see like what they can and can't do
because of rights.
Well, yeah, with rights issues, because King, I think a lot of his stuff was actually for a while Rob Reiner had first.
That's what's interesting about the trailer, because the trailer kind of does this vague thing where it's like it's all visual, a graphic thing where it's dark and there's like this bead of blood running down, and as you follow it over a map of the town, all these character names kind of pop and rise up. So or sometimes story names. So it'll be like Salem's Lot, Annie Wilkes, Pennywise, Needful Things. So it's like you kind of wonder how they'll do the actual interplay, but it sounds like a great setup.
Right.
Like,
the guys from Stand By Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I think they're from
Castle Rock.
Castle Rock.
Yeah. So
no, they might have been Derry.
Yeah, no. They say it's based on a short story called The Body.
Well, yeah, the Stand By Me.
Yeah, and it does say it's coming
loosely based on a true story. So I'm jazzed for it. JJ's involved in it, so he's got a big him and King have been involved.
He's good at taking things that are old and making them feel new again.
Yeah, and also too these days, actually, for things that he's not super directly involved in, it seems he's got a good run of, finding the right people to put in charge of the project, let's say. Like, you know what I mean?
Give them a focus and then just kind of make sure they're on point.
Yeah, he pulls together a good team. So I'm super psyched for that. It'll be a while before we hear anything, but that was a recent announcement. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. Next up, Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
He's got two things. We're going to talk about him a little later, but his TV thing.
Yeah.
BBC has signed him on to create a TV version of Sam and Twitch. Who, those of you who don't know, were characters in the Spawn comic book, who eventually got their own spinoff, and they were sort of like an X-Files kind of offshoot. Just these two detectives, investigating like supernatural stories. So
it was real. Trying to bring like this real kind of. It was trying to key in on that dark. Supernatural, urban kind of thing that Spawn was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it was a way for them to follow these other kinds of stories. Serial killer stuff, too. So it's just a really weird news item that it's like, okay, BBC and Kevin Smith and this property. Okay, it could all shake out.
And like Kevin Smith, I remember in the late 90s, him being involved with a lot of these types of projects like Superman Lives and Green Hornet he was attached to for a while. But I think TV might be the right medium for him.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And, he's been, the shows he's been directing for Flash and Supergirl were pretty solid.
I feel like if maybe we gave him a project that was like, he had to think past... a bunch of cool stuff for an hour and a half and actually think a little bit bigger and longer term, he might pull some shit out of his ass.
Yeah,
it's interesting because on the most recent episode of Smodcast, he sat down with Jason Mewes, who literally said 10 words during the entire hour, and recalled how he wrote a script for Mallrats 2 that then got turned into a television show that then got turned down. Then he tried to write Clerks 3, and that fell through. And now
you're ruining the second news item! Everything you're saying is pretty much the article I'm going to read in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, but my point is,
we can jump to it.
Is he going to do them both? The news item that's coming up is going to be in production soon. Is my point.
Let's just jump to it because
he's announced. Kevin Smith has announced that he's written a script for Jay and Silent Bob the reboot.
Yeah. But that's
all. Yes.
But that's all we know. Like, to be honest, it's just a script at this point. I don't think since that came out anything has changed on it. But
and the let me explain to you how Hollywood works.
Give us all. Why don't you give us all a fucking lesson there, Dad?
No, well,
Pop.
The thing is,
us.
there's stuff that's in development, and there's stuff you can look on someone's IMDb page.
Oh, sure.
And especially directors, producers.
Yeah.
And they will have a dozen things in development, which means that somewhere they've said they're going to do this.
Yeah, and those are only the things that publicly that come out.
And maybe
that's not like everything.
Yeah, and maybe a third of that stuff will actually happen, or will happen with them being still attached to it. And Kevin Smith is a guy who, he has these outlets. He does about 5 podcasts a week, and
he's got to talk about stuff.
He's going to talk about what.
Well, he has boiled it down to basically like he does like 2 or 3, and they get.
Now he does Smodcast, Babylon, Fat Man on Batman.
Yeah, and Fat Man on
but
Batman.
he does the latter 2 often, and he does Smodcast once every month.
Well, you two would know because you two follow his podcast stuff closer than I do.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, he does a bunch of public appearances and that kind of thing. So he loves to share.
Oh boy, does he?
He loves to share.
Kev loves
to an extreme point where it's like I did not need to know that.
Well, that's the whole nature of his gist outside of working on a film. Is just like I got to tell you. You know what I mean? I got to tell you.
Like they let him visit the Star Wars set because he's probably one of the top 5 Star Wars fans on the planet, and Abrams had to almost pull out a lawsuit against him. Like, you can't tell people what you saw.
But you know full well he's going to dance around that NDA.
Oh, yeah.
Like he did at a couple of those cons where he was talking about the stuff he saw, about having a man-child moment.
Yeah, he's
on the deck of Millennium Falcon.
And like immediately after that, Abrams said, you can't tell them the Millennium Falcon's in the movie.
Okay, I'll wait. Once you tell them then. Once it's out, then I'll tell them.
Yeah, but there are all these different projects. Like, he's supposedly doing a TV version of Buckaroo Banzai that he's show running.
It's like when we talk about The Rock. But how he had 17 things lined up for the next 3 years.
But the thing that's funny is, when you read this article about Jay and Silent Bob reboot, he pretty much explains, well, I tried doing Clerks 3, and with the rights tie-ups, and then one of the actors says he doesn't want to make it until we get paid for Clerks 2. So that's not happening anytime soon. Then I tried doing Mallrats 2, and no one bought it, but we think we could do that as a TV show. And, it's like all of his View Askew movies, because he did them all with different studios, he doesn't own. The only property he still owns outright are Jay and Silent Bob.
Well, there you go.
So, so that's why
we're back here.
Yeah. So we're doing
it's the easiest thing to move forward.
Yeah. So and the thing is, the plot is they're rebooting the Jay and Silent Bob movie, and so they decide to go to Hollywood and break it up.
And the best part about it, as he explains it, is he's going to spoof on reboots while doing a reboot.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
If he had pitched it as just a reboot, I wouldn't be interested.
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
if he's going to, if he's going to spoof on all those other reboots, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. It's the only way you can really probably do it.
Yep.
It makes the most sense, especially in that universe of it's all like Hollywood tangential to a degree.
Right. Well, just about everything he's ever done has really been a thinly veiled reboot.
We're starting it over. It's not like an exact sequel.
And I could see in the chat that evidently Uncle Jay wrote a script to Showgirls 3. I want to read it.
Oh, okay. We're skipping right over 2?
Yeah.
Or did 2 come out and no one saw it?
Straight to video.
Fair enough,
you don't need. See, like that's the thing. You don't need to see 2.
Why would you even ask that question?
To create 3.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Leonard Part 6, set the precedent.
Mm-hmm.
So the genius of Bill Cosby.
So so this
moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on to other interesting news.
I'm excited about one, not so much about the other. Anyone remember Castlevania?
Does anybody?
Yeah.
It's,
yeah.
They never went away. They still make those games.
Yeah, well, evidently they're getting a Netflix show.
Okay.
Palmer, you put this in the doc, no?
It did. And I just don't understand why.
Oh, okay.
Because we know how well video game movies and television shows work out.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but every now and then there's
yeah, but this one's a vampire game.
Hey, man, that episode and a half.
You a vampire show and call it Castlevania, and you're done with it.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
You know, the name of the family is Alucard. Dracula backwards.
Whoa, mind blown. Mind blown.
Oh, my God.
You know, and then the rest is just whatever. You know, just drinking blood and...
Well, I mean,
sex
you know,
whatever.
I get it too. It's like it does feel like a property that like it doesn't. It's got a weird kind of following where like it was never a game that I was obsessed with, but I remember some people being like, "Oh man, that game's great. I love that game," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's all right." But maybe that's just me. Maybe it just never worked for me.
Originally, it was a very hardcore side-scrolling action game.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where it was like a challenge.
Really,
it had a good challenge, and it took a lot of people. It was a moment in their lives when they finally finished it.
And the story was actually interesting to follow as you play through the game.
Right. One of the first to have a probably decent story.
One of the earliest ones of those.
So. Ed?
So yeah, moving on. This is one of those stories that is probably not going to happen.
I'm drinking more vodka. Go on. Where's my vodka? Where's my booze?
It's over there.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Is this it?
Yes, I believe that is it, Bill.
Okay. You know, DC's putting out all these projects. And they're talking about all these movies.
Yeah.
Well, evidently, they think Suicide's... Yeah?
Can I ask you a question? How disappointed, before we even get to the article, how disappointed are you that they didn't call you?
He's got a good point. I mean, I know he interrupted the flow there to ask this, which is probably a bigger point to make than the actual question he's asking. But... Because, you know, I can't, not...
Since
get
he's asked it, we
But
should
since
continue.
he's posed it, Ed...
Yeah.
How upset are you that they didn't call?
You know what? I'm not disappointed.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured.
I'm not disappointed, but sadly, I'm not surprised.
This is why we had that rule earlier, Palmer.
Now, you know, this brings another question for me, Ed.
Look, now he's not saying nothing.
Hypothetically, if Marvel called and asked you to review one of their movies,
to review? I review their movies all the time.
I mean, that's a whole different topic. All right. Well, so where were you going with this? What's going on?
So evidently, one of the movies that's in development now, besides Harley Quinn and Gotham City Sirens and Deadshot,
right, and all these other imaginary projects that won't
came
happen.
out of the Suicide Squad.
Right.
There is a Suicide Squad 2.
Right.
In development.
Right.
And they
more Boomerang Man.
Yeah.
Boomerang.
David Ayer, who directed Suicide Squad 1, is attached to direct Gotham City Sirens.
Sure, so he'll be busy.
Yes. So they're shopping around for someone to direct 2, and the person that they've approached is Mel Gibson.
Ah, interesting choice.
Yes.
Hardly makes any sense.
So does this mean he's going to have someone in the cast who hates Jews?
Well, you know, you would think that he'd probably be against that, having them around.
See, I think the good thing... I'm not going to get into that.
Here's what I think about this news bit, is that it's a little bit of we're both a little desperate, you know? So it's like, well, we need to get somebody in here who'll do whatever the fuck we tell them with this goddamn script and stop giving us a hard time. Who's really desperate to get back in the studio's big good graces?
See, but that's...
might just kind of roll with it, and who's still a name.
But you know what?
Right. Who's a good director?
That's what I mean. He's talented and is hungry. Maybe.
I mean, he's just coming off Hacksaw Ridge, so he's got he's
coming back up.
He's got an Oscar nod, so he's got his cred back.
Didn't he have that other one, Blood something?
Bloodfather. That was a movie he acted in.
Yeah, and that was good. You know, so he's on. He's like a living boomerang. He seems to be coming back around.
You know, and he's
Australian.
Yeah, and he's about
there you go
in both age and career. He's about 20 years behind Clint Eastwood.
And maturity, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
but
20, maybe like 40.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, but he's that workhorse who does simple movies but that are incredibly well made.
Exactly. You know, so I get from their end why, you know, they would want to
Sure.
swing this by him.
He probably would put together a pretty good movie.
And here's the thing people forget, too. Sometimes just because you have a meeting.
DC.
Well, that's a thing, too. He'd be like the best guy they ever had. Here's another thing, too, people forget. The reason sometimes you have these meetings is to just have the meeting. Yes. It's to get in and have a face-to-face with the studio head. It's like, they want to talk to me about Suicide Squad? At least I'm there, and I'm getting brownie points and conversation time.
Maybe lunch.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be about 2 or 3 minutes at the end where he goes, all right, well, now that that's done, you got any other ideas you want to tell me about real
and that's
quick?
what they tell you all the time, is what else do you have?
What else do you have before I kick you out? What else you got?
And that's the big thing in Hollywood. Always, they tell you always come for your pitch meetings with 2 or 3 more pitches.
Yeah, and the thing is, he did not give them a firm no or a firm yes.
Yeah. He's entertaining the idea.
He wants to read the source material. This is what it says. This is what heroic Hollywood says. Which, you know what?
Yeah, what does he think? There's one, that's the problem. Is that the source material is like a hot mess in a way.
It's not.
You can pick out a couple of graphic novels and say this is the general thing.
Suicide Squad, it's not as dense as you think, because you really.
No, it's not. That's not the issue.
You had that one run in the 80s, and then you had the New 52, and there might have been one in between.
I feel like there's the issue sometimes can be the opposite of this, is because there is no definitive, hard. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not as exposed to DC shit, and especially Suicide Squad stuff. Right. But I don't ever hear anybody saying, well, if you're going to read Suicide Squad, here's the trade to read.
No, there's a run to read. You read the John Ostrander run from the mid to late 80s.
And there you go. That's how far back you got to go to get something kind of good at it.
Or you read the New 52 run, because that's when Harley Quinn shows up.
Okay, and so there might be a storyline there. But isn't that stuff kind of just like...
maybe he's just better off reading up on each of the characters individually that make up the Suicide Squad,
and something original while
while DC lets somebody else come up with a script.
And
then he can try and give it his twist, because it's going to be a mediocre script, so maybe he can pull something out of a mediocre script.
What he's describing is the general gist of the way these things tend to go.
And
too.
It's the kind of thing, and I think this is something David Ayer said he wanted to do, which was that this is meant to be a war movie. These are covert ops. The thing is, they had the wrong villain.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And Suicide Squad doesn't really work as covert ops. There's nothing covert about them.
Really, it's like
it's the least thing of the things that they are is covert. I'm sorry. They're not SEAL Team 6.
It's like walking into a room with a flare gun and a bullhorn.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's exactly it. Let's drive a tank through the middle of town and hope no one notices.
2:00 in the morning.
2:00 in the afternoon. That's the level.
But if they're ever caught,
stuff sometimes
their heads explodes, and the government disavows knowledge of their actions.
There you go. They didn't do that.
That is an element to the story. That's the whole thing. Like, Waller sends them out there.
I feel like Waller would be blowing up heads,
and
so often she would run out of candidates for the team.
I don't. I have an important question to ask. How the fuck are we talking about Suicide Squad and Ed's not crying?
Well,
because we're talking about the sequel,
which has got hope.
We're talking about the future.
Potential.
There's hope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's hope.
It's all here for hope.
Yes.
Actually, it might be a good thing for both of them if he directs this movie.
It absolutely is. It's the first decent news I've heard about it, to be honest.
Absolutely.
It's weird, it's out of left field, but it's decent news.
Yeah, I also was expecting to hear something about Bryan Singer again, but,
Yeah.
we know how that went before.
I don't know.
Bryan Singer. Well, he's doing X-Men. He's doing that
the
whole
X-Men
thing.
guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it also says 2 other directors.
Just in general, you mean? Okay, I got you.
2 other
mediocre movies.
Oh, yeah, right.
But it also says 2 other directors that are looking at for Suicide Squad 2 are Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland, and Jonathan Levine, who did Warm Bodies. Which, tonally, I actually think both of those kind of fit.
I get where they're going.
Yeah.
But in that case, then Mel Gibson makes even less sense than suddenly.
Okay, suddenly,
because those two... I can see the comparison between the two of them, and if that's a tone area or something to think about, I'm like, well.
But Gibson's obviously the bigger name, so that's why he gets the headline.
Yeah, and let him just do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
which I'd go see that. Give him carte blanche on the whole thing.
Yes.
And in the end, if you have to say it's in a pocket universe, fine.
Right.
But let's just see what he does with it. Let him write, direct, and be in it. Who gives a shit?
And if he wants to hang himself, he can hang himself.
Fine. Right.
You know,
he could do it. He could play the
you
good
can
guy and
disavow everything, just like the government in the movie.
Yeah, that's there you go.
Yeah, but I mean, of those three, I'd still give it a Mel. I'd still give it a Mel.
I would too.
Just to see what he would do.
Now, it might actually be pretty good.
Speaking of directors,
better chances. Yeah,
another big name action director.
Yes.
We're in the reboot report now.
Reboot report.
Ang Lee?
Joe Carnahan.
Joe Carnahan.
Yes, he has signed on to direct the remake.
Yeah,
the American remake of The Raid Redemption.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
anyone want to talk about this?
Well,
what is it?
The Raid is one of these action movies from overseas that's really lauded for having some just really a lot of these tight action scenes. It takes place all in one apartment building, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So if you saw Judge Dredd, Judge Dredd, people say, steals a lot from The Raid. Yes. And that it's all in one building, and they're kind of working their way up, and they're trying to survive. So it's like this raid goes wrong, and I think it's like only a handful
so
of guys.
Game of Death.
I'm not sure. It's not working for me. Game of Death. I'm not thinking.
Death, Bruce Lee. He starts from the bottom of the temple. He's got to fight the people going up the stairs.
Yeah, it's basically.
He's got to work his way to the top.
It's basically a video game kind of
along
thing.
The way along the way he fights.
Every now and then there's a boss.
Right,
there's a boss battle every now and then.
Right,
gets a big kick in the chest from Kareem.
Right, yeah.
All right, it's all coming back to me.
Right.
I forgot that's how that one worked. It was all the levels.
That was
right.
It's an Indonesian film.
Okay, I didn't want
to. There's Raid Redemption and then Raid 2.
Yeah,
and many people consider those like the best two action movies of the last 10 years.
And two better than one, from what I understand. But so hey, if anybody can do it, I think Carnahan's got a good chance of pulling it off. I've never seen it. I've seen some clips from it, some of the intense action stuff. Like this is the best stuff. From Raid and these kinds of things. It's intense. It's crazy. So if you like John Wick, actually, like that really super intense, close quarters kind of fighting and stuff like that, which we do. It's maybe a little less on the gunplay.
Yeah, and this has been years in the making, but it actually looks like it's a step closer now that they have a director. Okay. And Frank Grillo is attached to star.
Frank Grillo?
Yes.
It was going good until you said Frank Grillo. All right, fair enough.
Didn't I go to school with him?
Crossbones.
No, I know Crossbones. I'm just saying, that guy's gonna. I know he ain't no kid, but I feel like he's got some working to do before he gets.
Didn't he get blown up like really quick in the last movie?
That's right, in Civil War, in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but he was a big part of Winter Soldier.
Well, from Winter Soldier, he's got a good chunk of that, and he's in the Purge movies.
So I guess he's free now. So.
Well, yeah. Well, that's for sure. So
Bill's digging the Crystal Pepsi there.
Well, only because I'm going to add some more vodka to it. So stick around for the after show where Bill loses all control of his senses.
So next up, I'm going to just straight read a letter. This is from Bleeding Cool.
All right, if you want, okay, we can start with that angle.
I'm just going to read the letter, and you guys can figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Dear Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
First of all, we're really glad you're okay. We heard about your little incident at the John Wayne Airport in Orange County today. Yes, the one where instead of landing on runway 20L, as you were instructed by air traffic control, you landed on a parallel taxiway, flying just over a Boeing 747 containing more than 100 passengers. You made it safely, and no one was hurt, and that's what really matters. But can we talk about this reckless behavior involving personal airplanes? In 2015, you were forced to make an emergency landing on a golf course, breaking an arm and receiving minor head injuries in the process. We understand it was due to mechanical failure and totally not your fault, but the same can't be said of today's incident. Are you acting out, Harrison? Seeking attention? Most people get this out of their systems earlier in life. Why can't you just start wearing black clothes and become sullen and distant like a normal teenager? All of us love you, We know we don't say it enough, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Look, we don't know if it's like a Final Destination type of thing or what, but clearly it is bad luck for you to go flying around in planes. Someone is trying to tell you something, man. Aren't there less dangerous hobbies you can take up? Comic book collecting is nice. Knitting? We hear blogging snarkily about entertainment news requires almost no effort, and you never have to leave your chair.
Not really, no.
Just be safe. Is what we're trying to say. Mm-hmm. Maybe get one of those VR systems and a copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh, there you go. That's the way to do it.
Sincerely, your friends at Bleeding Cool.
Yeah, that was a very heartfelt letter. That was nice. That pretty much sums it up.
And I think we all echo those sentiments.
Oh, we definitely do. Mm-hmm. I think Palmer and me were talking about how, is this how this guy's going to go? Like, because if he doesn't stop flying, this is how this guy's gonna fucking die.
I mean, it's
either this or he's gonna I think he's trying to live up to how he's killing off all his characters in his movies, and he's got like a death wish now. Maybe
you'd think you'd learn after Thurman Munson.
Well, you know what it is? He wants his real death to be as dramatic as his on-screen death.
That's what he's going for? Okay.
I think that's what he's going for.
I just think he's got to stop flying real high. I think that's really what he needs to.
You think he's smoking the weed?
Well, this is the rumor.
This is the rumor.
This is the rumor that he smokes an insane amount of pot.
An insane amount of pot.
Yes, that's all
really?
he does all day.
Well, don't get me wrong. If I was rich, that's probably why he doesn't make a lot of movies on the regular. Now that I think about it, yeah, I'll make another one next year. I'll do something.
I'll make another one when I'm done with this pound.
Get out of my house.
And he seems like one of those angry pot smokers. You ever seen meet one of those guys?
Have you ever seen a clip from David Blaine when he's at Harrison Ford's house?
No.
And he does the magic. He pulls a magic trick on Harrison Ford. No. And Harrison Ford's like, get out of my house. I mean, Harrison plays the gruff guy on purpose sometimes. He'll lean into his
natural nature.
Yeah, like he knows that's the bit almost. But I was having trouble reading it. I really feel like, doing the magic and putting it over on him. He's not a fan of that.
It's still not the same as when Chewbacca tried to invade his spot on Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh shit! I saw that.
He's just screaming because she was my wife. Get out!
Chewbacca starts calling him out from the audience about all kinds of shit.
You did that good, Ed.
That was pretty good. We gotta get more.
Yeah, a little more.
More gargling.
Yeah, roll your R's.
I'm Irish. I can't do that.
No, you can. I can do it. It's about gargling. I used to be able to do the Predator.
Yeah,
I can't do it. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. Someone in the chat room is getting nauseous. I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
All right.
Yeah,
so
another Star Wars related story.
Yeah. So this one's the thing we're gonna throw out to the guys in the chat, the kids in the chat. But just when you thought you were done, you weren't gonna have to hear the name uttered or see it in print or know about it. Mm-hmm. Jar Jar Binks is going to make an appearance back in the official universe, but at least it's going to be in a book.
Yes.
And at the very least, it's just like in a chapter. And at the very least, it's just about like, hey, look at him now. He's a fucking street pauper or something.
Yeah, no, he's
and I'm sure his tenure in the book ends with.
No. He's a homeless street performer on Naboo.
That's what it was. So everybody, your dreams have come true.
Yes.
That's what they wanted you to know. George Lucas is gone. Let's officially shit on Jar Jar.
Yes.
Continuity-wise. Make him homeless. And not only is he homeless, he's annoying.
Yes.
He's a street performer.
Mr. Funny.
Oh, you're gonna love this one. Bleep, blah, 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 bleep, blah, blah.
It's
blah, 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 bleep.
To Chuck Wendig's
you give me tip now.
Star Wars aftermath novel.
You love my show. So Palmer,
so funny.
Trying not to laugh out loud. I don't know why. But so hey kids, what are some other Jar Jar jobs? Why don't you guys in the chat have some fun with that one? What are some other things he's been up to that seem to make maybe a little more sense for a guy who no one cares about? I don't know. I'm sure you guys can come up with something. Other things he's been up to maybe since we last saw him.
You know what?
I mean, if he's fallen on hard times, when now he's homeless, and he's basically like...
Peep show mopper.
He's as good as a guy in a subway train right now saying, thank you for your attention.
Yeah.
Please don't get scared. I got AIDS, but I'm looking for $1. That guy?
Well, how about he's the guy who cleans up the floor in the...
Uh-oh. I wish I could help you.
I just said it and you were talking over it.
Peep show?
Yes.
Yes.
Peep show. Yeah, the peep show floor mopper.
Oh, you sound like a mess.
Oh, a jizz mopper?
Yeah, jizz mopper.
Jar Jar jizz mopper.
The things you learn from Clerks, folks.
All right, kids, have fun with that one in the chat room.
Yeah.
All right, so as they're playing with that, and I really didn't know that you were going to end up reading the whole Bleeding Cool article, because I had this other thing in here. I was thinking maybe I could have you read.
Okay.
Because I thought it might be funny. Now, I don't know if you want to use
It's called
it.
War and Peace, right?
Yeah, this is a Craigslist ad.
Right. Now, I don't know how you want to...
yeah, it's from August of 2007.
Roll with it. This is a classic thing I'd seen before, and it popped up today on Reddit on the front page, and I was like, oh, that was a gem.
All right, so I'm gonna do this.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean.
And,
maybe settle in. Settle in.
You know, this is my Staten Island Italian.
Everybody gets a little taste of New York, you know?
You know, so...
Yeah.
I have approximately 275 to 300 cinder
maybe
blocks.
dial it back a little.
Yeah, people got to be able to understand you.
I have approximately 275 to 300 cinder blocks for sale.
Okay.
They are standard 8 by 8 by 16. They cost about $1.75 plus delivery fees if you buy them somewhere else.
Right.
I'm asking $1 per block. You pick them up and move them yourself. Please don't waste my fucking time with endless emails. These are plain old cinder blocks, for fuck's sake. You don't need to do an engineering study or the feasibility of using these fucking things as building material. That's what they're for, you fucking idiots. Now listen, we're all busy people here. You want the blocks? Come get the fucking blocks and give me $1 for every block you take. How fucking hard is that? You don't have to tell me what you're building. I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested in helping you build it either. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. I just want to get these fucking things off my property. So, if you want them, get the fuck over here with some money and take them. The next fucking moron that emails me with, I'm building a blah, 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 and was wondering if the answer is no. Come get the fucking blocks and build it yourself. If I knew how to do masonry, don't you think I'd be using the blocks myself instead of selling them for half fucking price? What the fuck is wrong with you people? The next one of them, you fucking jackasses that emails me with some sob story bullshit is getting his email address added to the North American Man Boy Love Association mailing list. You want the blocks? Come get the blocks and don't fuck with me.
Ed!
This guy is like, I want to know, his therapist is probably a millionaire.
For the guy who wrote this thing.
Therapist.
Therapist.
Yeah. Why the fuck would I go to one of those?
I got these cinder blocks I can break in the backyard.
Listen, I don't trust any profession.
I get all my rage out with them.
Listen, I don't trust any professions I can't fucking spell. All right?
That's a good way to be. So
it's spelled like this, all right? Therapist. Get it through your thick head, all right?
All right, so I thought that might have been a little fun, a little interesting. Palmer, I'm going to hang up with you. I'm going to call you back in a minute. Okay? Good. Thumbs up for Palmer. He's like, that's fine. I'll go away. So, so that was kind of fun. I thought that was fun.
So that's the news, and you know what comes next?
I know what comes next. So do you know what comes next, Ed?
Oh, yes, I do.
To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
Welcome to the DCTV report for the week ending February 18th, 2017. Oh, I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined. Joined with me is Bill Sweeney.
That's me!
And Brother Bob.
Hello.
So let's move it up. We only got 3 shows this week.
That's nice. I like that.
So starting on Monday, we got Supergirl.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Here we go. Metallo attacked Lillian Luthor's trial and helped her escape.
Whoa, Metallo?
Yeah, Metallo.
Whoa.
And they framed Lena and kidnapped her and brought her to one of Lex's secret mountain lairs.
Oh.
Lillian revealed to Lena that she was Lionel Luthor's love child.
Lionel Luthor's lover?
Love child.
Lena?
Yes. Yeah.
Lena lie about being Lionel Luthor's love lady?
You know what? The alliteration was funny before you pointed it out.
I know.
Kara and John rescued Lena just before Metallo exploded due to radioactive decay.
Ooh.
Kara found out Mon-El's date with Eve did not go well because he's still hung up on Kara.
Of course. Who's not?
Last minute reveal.
Yeah.
Kara and Mon-El's kiss was interrupted by Mixer Mixes Pitalik, who professed his love for Supergirl.
Mind blown.
Yep.
Mixes
Pitlick.
Mitchell toothpicks.
Oh, he's coming next week.
She would be Mrs. Mixes.
Exactly.
He's coming next week.
Next week, is he going to have to say his name backwards in order to be sent back to the fifth
Kill
dimension?
Tipsyism? I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh, my God. I hate Kill Tipsyism.
All right. So Wednesday.
Doctor said I had that once.
Moving up to Arrow.
Arrow.
In the past, Wild Dog had a wife and a daughter.
Oh.
His wife was killed by her drug dealer during a gunfight, and social services took the daughter away.
Wife was a junkie?
Yep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't trust Renee with the girl.
Oh, well.
Sad.
His name's Renee.
Yes, that's Wild Dog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not very macho.
Mm-hmm. In the present,
yeah,
a stranger in a ski mask shot up City Hall with a machine gun.
Those are the worst kinds of strangers.
Yes,
Let me just say that now.
This episode had a viewer discretion warning and was a very special episode of
This
Arrow.
was an episode all about guns, right?
Yes. The team argued over gun control while Felicity found out the shooter was a guy who lost his family in a shooting.
No. Misa said, oh, no.
Oliver confronted the shooter out of costume and convinced him to turn himself in. Wild Dog helped Ollie and Councilman Pollard create gun ordinances.
I used to buy 40s of Wild Dog when I was a kid. Well, teenager. But go on.
Dinah was nervous about getting an apartment and rejoining normalcy, but got some encouragement from Diggle. Mm-hmm. Last minute reveal. Yeah. No reveal. Oliver held a candlelight vigil for the shooting victims.
Aww. It's so sentimental.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting into like what Green Arrow from the comics is really about. That
messages?
Well, no, just that bleeding heart liberalism.
Messages?
Yeah.
You know, making sure everything's got a lesson or a moral.
Yeah.
Because moralism exists too. You know, that's a little right side. But anyway, go on.
All right, so on to Powerless.
Yeah.
Thursday. All right.
Shows with a message and meaning.
Yes. So
Powerless.
Van forgot to read an email and lost the company's contract with Ace Chemical.
Well, who wants that anyway?
No. Emily was able to land a pitch meeting with Atlantis.
Ooh, the island?
Atlantis.
Yeah,
you know, where Aquaman lives.
I thought maybe the casino.
No, where evidently Ron grew up.
Oh.
We have an Atlantean on the show, and we didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it.
Nope.
No wonder his skin looks so dry.
Van invited the Atlanteans to a sinking day party, even though we didn't know what sinking day was, and promised Aquaman would be there.
I think it's a Canadian thing.
Probably.
AQ, as they called him, didn't show up.
AQ?
But Van saved the day by getting the Fish Boys personalized gifts.
Why don't you just call him Ak? Like, why would you call him AQ? Does his last name start with Q? It's Arthur something, right?
It's Arthur Curry. But no one knows that. It's a secret identity.
I know, but AQ is like really stupid.
What about Aki?
That's what I'm saying. Like Ak or Aki or AM. AQ?
Ask Alan Tudyk.
What is it, a fucking element on a periodic table? AQ?
I think that is actually.
It might be.
So anyway, Van Sr., played by Corbin Burnson.
It's Aquarillion, by the way.
Yes. Thought Van was going to blow the deal, but ended up being impressed with his son.
Good kid.
The team theorized that Alex in accounting might secretly be the Olympian. And after
because he does a lot of push-ups and stuff.
Well, after some investigating, they discovered he just coincidentally had to use the bathroom whenever the Olympian saved somebody.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. Last minute reveal. Van played guitar, and Emily sang a song with him.
I just love that you built up for that. That you hovered. That you waited for the beat to finish.
Well,
that was great.
And that's the DC TV report for this week.
TV report for this week. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That one is for T-Bone. We're going to call him from now on. Tommy Jackson Jr. I think that was him, right? Tom? That was that Tom? It wasn't the other Tom. Because we got 3 Toms now.
Yes. Thomas K.
Tom K. Tom, Zombie Tom.
No, it's Zombie John.
Zombie John. Okay, so we got 2. Mm-hmm. For some reason,
Tom K. and Tom Jr. Jackson.
Wow, I'm not even. Well, I am drinking, I guess.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, let's
hot.
Yeah, let's read some of those Jar Jar jabs.
Yeah, what do you got? Some Jar Jar jokes about Jar Jar getting a jar job.
Misa gotta give hand jobs for cash.
Sorry, Ed.
Jar Jar Binks pimps Ewoks to the Sand People.
I don't think you gotta read those.
Jar Jar has cleaned up bantha shit at Tatooine Zoo.
Oh, that's no good.
Mr. Jar Jar Greener at Walmart.
Misa, help you find what you need. No, I'm okay.
Maybe I'm thinking that last one about Walmart was written by somebody who was a greeter at Walmart.
This gives away who wrote it. But Jar Jar Binks in Rahway Prison. You know him as Binky Bitch.
Was that Uncle Jay?
Yes.
Of course it was.
Mrs. cleans lightsabers for Sith. Death by accident.
That's funny.
Misa Jar Jar has to go gay for pay.
Oh, shit. Is that rounded out?
Yes.
That rounds it out. All right. That was actually pretty fucking cool.
Very nice, guys.
All right. So, with that, now is the time.
Where I shut up.
Yeah, you shut up. And I get all fucking funky with the emails.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to do something else.
Why? We got something else in there?
Well, there's pitch versus pitch.
Oh, shit!
Are you people insane?
Yes!
I'm the director?
Yeah.
I make the casting decisions around here.
That's true.
I thought this was a group effort.
No!
No!
No.
It always ends on no, and I forget that that's the dead end of it.
Yes.
I'm always sitting there waiting for one more. Well, there's also this one.
People are insane! You're wasting your life making shit! Nobody cares! These movies are terrible!
All right. She's right.
Is that from a Kevin Smith movie?
No, is that what she's talking about?
That is from Ed Wood.
Both of those clips from Ed Wood. One of the best movies about bad movies ever made.
Best Tim Burton movie ever made.
I'll agree. I'll agree with you. All right, Ed, you want to?
Yeah. So I chose the title last week, which was "The Man Said."
The Man Said.
Mm-hmm. Now I get to choose who goes first. Correct?
I guess. Yeah. I guess we can play it that way. I think that's probably how we've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I do not recall.
So I'm going to flip a coin. Bob, you call it.
Okay.
Say heads or tails?
Heads.
It's not quite a coin.
Tails. So, Bill,
what?
Would you like to go first or
How
second?
that
I think I got cheated.
I don't even know if it mattered. Like,
would you like to go first?
I don't think it did.
It was a freaking sticky pad. It was a memo, Post-it notes.
Well, this is heads. This is the front.
Well, we
and this
didn't
is the
know
back.
which one was which.
Well,
I think you did that on purpose so that we
Okay.
could just be like, you could
So,
swing it any way you
Bill,
wanted
would you like to go first or second?
Oh, it's football rules, right?
Yeah.
We flip to see who gets the choice rather than make a choice and be
And
bold.
when the old ancient ex-president comes in the wheelchair and flips it and it goes all the way across underneath everybody's legs, you just call it that way anyway. That wasn't a Super Bowl reference, was it?
It might have been. I wouldn't know. Well, I can. Age of Palmer's back in the room. Yeah, I guess I could go first.
Okay.
So, The Man Said. My pitch is that it's a documentary, air quotes, okay, a mockumentary, obviously, recalling the life of a guy named Jackie Hustle, the forgotten Motown artist that everyone stole from back in the days. Yeah. So we can have some fun with that, right? So he wrote his 7 coke-fueled albums in the course of like a couple of months, and they never saw the light of day. Not to the public. But record execs kept them hidden, except amongst themselves, where they passed around a little bit, but they never were released to the public. So it was these albums. This one album in particular is like considered like the cream of the crop. This gold that like everybody ended up hearing and stole stuff from, and it's believed to be like the direct influence of like 30 top 10 hits or something like that, right? So he's like this forgotten thing that everybody pilfered from. So and the big hit is, well, the one song that everybody talks about as being his greatest song is The Man Said. So it's this song that when you hear it, it's very James Brown, and it's all like, the man said, the man said, like that's the refrain, and after that, every time there's a line about what the man was doing.
You want a guitar while you're telling the story?
No, I mean I could probably bust it out.
Tell me what he said. The man said.
That's what I'm saying.
I already lost.
So that's like, so the idea being that maybe it's a very comedic thing where they'll play a lot with, like, all these things he did. It'll be very ironic to true history. All these things he did that people, quote unquote, stole from. Like, we'll find like a goofy reason for why James Brown stole the idea of the cape from him, or the goofy idea of mashed potatoes was actually from him because he had itchy feet or something, and he was constantly trying to scratch his feet, but he couldn't stop. They were working in the studio, and I had this dry foot problem, you know what I mean? And so all you see is like raw studio footage from those sessions. You don't see a modern day. He passed away without being discovered. This is all being unearthed modern day. So I don't know if it would be Chris Rock playing him in this mockumentary, but I feel like I want to say it's Chris Rock in it and Louis C.K. directing as an apology or a makeup for Pootie Tang. Like it's like, let's try something again project, and that's like it's really all I got. I was gonna go through and make like a whole bunch of lists of like other cool goofy song titles, but I was at work.
But after seeing Ed jump in and get into it like he did, you don't need to do that.
Well, when I had the hook, the man said, I said I can't go in. The man said, like, can't drink from this water fountain, whatever it is. But I was gonna go through a list where it's like not just the social stuff. It was like, the man said, I now pronounce you man and wife. Oh, no. Like, all these kinds of, like, slice of life shit that would, like, be like, okay. Because, they're playing on being a comedy kind of thing. Huh. But that's my pitch. That's my big one. We lost Agent Palmer. I'm going to try and reconnect here and see what we can do as the show moves on. Just so you're aware.
All right. Bob, you're up.
All right. So my movie opens up. You got a shady guy. Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be black guy, white guy, Spanish guy, whoever. He's on the phone. He's like, yeah, man, I'm here. Where are you? Where are you at? Okay, I'm waiting. And he hangs up the phone. A couple seconds later, car pulls up. Guy in the passenger seat hands him a package and says, now, remember, the man said you got to make sure that you give this to the guy personally. Don't give it to anybody else. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, man, no problem. Guy goes on his way. So now the guy gets to where he's got to go, but outside the building, there's somebody there waiting for him. He's like, yo, you the guy, you got the package? And, of course, our delivery guy says, no, I got to give it to the man himself. The man said, I got to give it to him myself. Right? Sure. So it's like... So the guy outside of the building pulls out a gun, and he's like, you got to give me the next thing you know, long story short, a chase ensues. This goes all the way throughout the city.
Okay.
Right? You're on the subway, you're on the streets, all over the place. Mm-hmm. About halfway through, miraculously, he actually gets it to the guy he's supposed to deliver it to.
Okay.
Right? But the guy chasing him still don't know. Okay. So he's still chasing the guy, and now he's got to figure out a way to get this guy off his back while he's alive. This guy's just no way he's going to think that I don't have the package anymore.
Right. He's going to.
He's got to figure out a way to get this guy off his back.
Sure.
Right. So basically, he comes up with a way of doing that.
Okay. All right.
I haven't worked out every detail yet.
Sure. But he figures out a way to kind of.
Right. He works out a way to get all that done, and there's a big finale, and. That's it. So basically, it's just like a long chase after the first 5 minutes.
Right.
So who's chasing him? So is this a mob hit, or is this like what?
Well, you never really know for sure, but it's like.
So it's like
a delivery from like Gang
it's like
A.
Duel?
No, it's not like it's. Where's what Duel? Is that the one with the bicycles?
It's the one with the monster truck just chasing this guy across the highway.
No.
The rig, right. You just don't know.
It's more like the one with
the car?
No, the bicycle delivery guy. What's his name?
Quicksilver?
No,
with Kevin Bacon?
No, not Quicksilver. More recent with
with the booth.
No.
Are you talking about the Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. Which is frantic chase across the city.
Right, because he's a bicycle delivery guy. This guy is just
Bruce Willis. 12 blocks or 16 blocks. That's another one where it's kind of like
Premium Rush is the movie Bob was thinking.
That's right. Which is kind of like we're running from this guy, trying to make it somewhere on time,
right?
And what I like, though,
I want Ang Lee directing this too.
Okay.
Let me not interrupt. Your directors, Ang Lee, cast.
Okay, cast.
Anybody in particular?
I like what's his name? Jonathan Gordon-Levitt, Jason Gordon-Levitt,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I got it right eventually. No,
I got
it right after he told me.
You had me fooled for both of them. Actually, I was like, yeah, no, no.
He's good. He's not expensive, so he'd be good. He'd be good for the lead role. He's already kind of done that already.
All right. So we got Bob's story, a mockumentary.
Yeah.
About an unknown.
That's Bill's story. I'm Bob.
Yeah. Sorry. Bill's story, a mockumentary.
Yeah, I didn't know which way you were going right there, but yeah.
About an unknown Motown legend whose lost album was the basis of rhythm and blues for an entire generation.
70s R&B.
Mm-hmm. And
Motown
Bob's story about a man who has to make a delivery.
Now, I will say this.
And is chased across New York City, but try to get delivered to the right person.
Now, I will say this. We do have one
in Toronto to keep it cheap.
Mm-hmm.
We do have one in the email, and Palmer might have had an idea, but he ran away. So
between
we usually keep this closed.
Yeah. So between you two.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna go with Bill.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. I think the reason it reminds me of and it's funny. Chris Rock is an interesting choice. I think I might go with a different casting. I might ask you to change the casting.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to think of who could really pull that off.
Well, what's funny is
him as Rufus in Jay and Silent Bob.
No, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I liked him in everything. I just don't know if he could.
Well,
this is him.
Well, it's funny because the person you cast is Eddie Murphy, because he basically did this exact scene in Dreamgirls.
Okay,
there's a moment he goes,
Jackie
Wilson stole everything from me. little Richard, walking around in that, walking around in that sequin.
Yeah, Cheech and Chong also had a similar bit.
Yeah, sure.
He was the first. No. He was the first to wear shiny colors. What are you talking? Remember that jacket? I used to wear?
Okay, all right. I still never. Yeah. But I forgot he was even in that. Mm-hmm. But hey, I know it's not that original of a base concept, but
the mockumentary angle is interesting. That's what intrigues me.
I think if anything, you could find somebody like.
Well, I would say Rob Reiner to direct.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Actually, I didn't even. Louis C.K. was kind of like a toss.
Even like the people who made
Terry Crews might be interesting in that.
Yeah,
because he's got that screamy kind of thing. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the people who did 7 Days in Hell, the HBO mockumentary.
Okay, sure about the tennis.
The tennis
feud.
Players.
So was that your? Did you make a call?
I made a call.
Yeah,
I voted for you.
All right. Hey, I like winning. Palmer.
Let's hear everyone else's pitches.
Did you have something?
I was going to say, if you want, I can give my pitch to go against the email.
Yeah, well, let's do that then. So Palmer, before I read the email, let's hear what because you had something brewing in your headscape.
Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's an anthology, but not separate stories, just through time. And it opens up with like a grandfather on his deathbed, right?
Okay.
And the family's all around saying, well,
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, but go on.
He used to say this. He used to say that. He used to say this. And then basically there's like 3 or 4 things, like statements that he always said over and over. And then we go back and we see him as a young father and as a middle-aged guy, and you basically get a little scene which ends with each of those things that everybody remembers him saying.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm thinking the old man is played by Harvey Keitel, and I think I want it directed.
What's Joe thinking?
Sounds like he's going to say Quentin Tarantino.
Well, let's see what he goes. Let's see what he goes with the football.
I was going to say I think this is going to be the one sentimental piece by Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yep.
Is
that's my pitch.
Well, it's Ed's round. I'll let him ask any follow-ups.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's not quite the follow-up.
Well, I'm just trying. Is this a movie or is this a series?
No. It's just one movie.
Okay.
They set it up. They're all talking about like the things that he said, and then you just see them all
just a warning
play out.
Based on that premise, I think like it's the thing that if you made it in America would die on the vine.
Yes,
but
that's for sure.
You make this in like Denmark or Sweden.
Oh, I was gonna say Finland.
You win all the awards.
Yeah, you sweep up.
Yeah, this
especially
is
with an
like,
American actor, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My only note would be like, as long as he's like an old hitman, and these stories that he tells are like gruesome tales from back in the days, and like he's just old, so he doesn't get that he shouldn't be.
Oh, if that's the movie, that sounds awesome. Like the movie he's describing is
it's okay. It's a little maudlin.
Yeah.
But like,
you can say what the guy does for a living.
But if it's Harvey Keitel and he's telling these kinds of like professional stories to like his grandkids, and it's like, it's I'm Grandpa's old. Don't worry about what Grandpa. It didn't happen.
Stay out of the sticky wickets.
I put a fucking ice pick in his eye.
You start talking like that, I start thinking about the old man telling the story of the Saint Achilles to the young mobster.
There you go. Yeah, sure. Straight out of Preacher. Yeah. That's a very similar kind of thing. But that's not what he pitched.
Nope.
That's not what I pitched.
That's not what he pitched. We riffed on it, but
you made it better.
Well,
obviously.
that's debatable.
What was
So Thomas Jr. Jackson.
Jackson.
Of the Jackson Jr. Jackson family. In case anybody was confused.
Lots of juniors in the Jacksons.
He's got a perfect. He's got conceivably a perfect pitch versus pitch. It's about a paragraph long. It seems that I didn't read it yet, but I see that he's got some actors and a director, so he's hit all the marks. If anybody wants to send in their pitch versus pitch and play along with us every week, Bob's going to give it the title for the next one just as we wrap this up. But you can send yours to podcast@wickedtheory.com. So Tom Jr. Jackson says, "The Man Said is the story of 3 generations of men who all estranged from each other till one day they each meet a man who tells them a story about his life and how he turned his life into something big and successful, but in no way are they allowed to tell anyone about him or his story or else." The drama/horror thriller stars Jimmy Stewart, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Cera as the 3 generations of men, and Dustin Hoffman as the man who tells his story. Directed by Woody Allen.
It's like this is a movie I think could happen. Like
this is a one.
This is a movie that is written to be sold to a man like Ed, who is right now down to his last 22 hours of Oscar possibilities.
It is one of these things where, like, as a setup, it's almost like until you said Woody Allen, which then means that Woody Allen writes it.
Yeah.
I wasn't kind of following it a little bit, but then Woody Allen made it make sense where it's like, oh, it's kind of like a disjointed thing a little bit, like, you know what I mean?
You know, and Woody Allen makes a movie every year. He makes a good movie about once every 3 years, but he makes a movie every year.
And the casting just feels like a Woody Allen type thing where like, let me get 7 people I really like right now. They
who
may
live
not,
in my neighborhood here in New York.
Who may not really even feel like a cohesive unit.
And not tell them why I'm hiring them, or even talk to them about the part. Just trust they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I love that Jimmy Stewart is the oldest. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the son there. And then the grandson is Michael Cera. For some reason, Arnold Schwarzenegger spent a lot of time growing up in Austria. Picked up an accent. We'll get into it maybe in the sequel.
My mother went from America to Austria.
But now, Ed, these are your choices between.
Well, I mean, I think I don't know. Do we choose?
Do we choose?
I think they're all good. I don't know. I can understand me choosing between you and Bob because fuck you guys. But
here's the thing, right? Exactly. But for the same reason, this is a chance for you to not choose Palmer to win something.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah. Right.
So
therefore, you could just be like,
is there another pitch in there? Because I'm reading in the chat that someone says they sent one in.
They sent one in. Somebody else?
Yeah. Is there?
Late edition.
Oh, okay.
I did not see this.
Uh-oh. We have a late entry, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a couple of late emails in general that I did not see.
Okay.
But from Uncle Jay.
Oh, okay.
Comes another one. The man.
This should be good.
He starts it out with, "The man said, I'll let you know when I get home." Sorry, I had to. So he says, the pitch 2. He goes, "The Man Said is a story about a transgender female hitman that gets caught up in the double cross between 2 mafia families, the CIA and the Secret Service. During this process, she rethinks her life and comes to the conclusion that she doesn't want to be a female anymore and falls in love with one of the Don's daughters. Trouble ensues and shit happens. Directed by Scorsese, starring Amanda Peet as the transgender hero.
Okay.
Oddly enough, not too far from a movie that's coming out right now from Walter Hill, and starring what's her name from the Fast and Furious movies and the season on Lost.
Rodriguez?
Yes, and it's actually got a comic book adaptation. I read the first issue and I was like, okay, this is weird, but anyway, Michelle Rodriguez. But anyway, so that's a pretty good one though. The fact that he actually kind of tapped into something that's actually kind of going to be coming out around the corner.
I could see her playing a transgender.
Well, here's the thing: like that story,
she plays Butch pretty well.
In that story, he's like a hitman. This guy Frank or whatever, Frank Kitchen, I think it was the name because it just stuck in my head because it's silly. But it's called The Assignment, and he does a job, and then all of a sudden wakes up, and some time has passed, and he's been against his will transgendered via operation, like full. Well,
it sounds like something that would have been a Japanese anime at one point.
Well, the fact that it's a Walter Hill movie to me is just like, what? What? A, you're around. B, what? So, well, but kudos to Jason C for bringing that.
Sounds like it could be called
Uncle Jay for bringing that to the table.
Swiss Army Man 2.
Swiss Army Man, because what? It's got all kinds of extra accoutrement, all kinds of hiding and
parts of there,
tucking
parts
away.
are
They
gone.
pop up, they pop down.
Well,
I got you.
These are all great ideas, all very different from the inspiration
Listen
for this
to you
title.
towing the fucking line. All these ideas are perfect and wonderful.
Oh, you really want me to pick one?
No. He was just. I was just pointing. Look at Paul because he's in it. So he's like, "Yeah, pick a winner, you son of a."
Oh no, you're out. It's.
Oh, I know I'm out, but I want Ed to have to choose.
Wait, see, we don't do this normally. Usually, we just read off the other ones.
Yeah, fair enough. Like these secondary stuff.
One.
Well, he does have a point. Yeah. It's usually one. I think once we had two. No,
there was a couple where we had like 3 or 4.
Did we really?
Yeah. Wow. Because I remember someone doing something like Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, the first week that we really had a turnout for emails on it, we did have a few. Hey, so people, if you want to confuse us even more and make this one grow, Bob is going to give us a title for next week for us all to work on. Is that the name of the movie we're going with?
No.
Thank God, because as soon as I said that, I was like, he could turn around and literally say yes, and we'd have to work on that. So,
well, that would work out well because you could just say whatever.
You could do whatever. You could do a what? The movie?
It's a Mel Brooks production. There
well, put that in your pocket for one day if you can't come up with something. So, what are you thinking about for this week? Do you have something ready, or are you just going to whip something up? Either way,
I got something.
Hit us with it.
I've been thinking about it throughout the show, so I got some Final Notice.
Final Notice is the movie.
Ed is putting into his document.
Final Notice.
Final Notice is pitch for pitch for
now
next week.
Part of Ed's Excel document.
So put that into your Excel documents at home and work on it during the week. Give us a paragraph. Send it in to the email, podcast@wickedtheory.com. You guys know it by now. And play along with us.
Make sure you subject to that pitch versus pitch.
Yes, please. That will make it easier.
Yeah. And just what I was saying, all of these stories are very different from the inspiration for that title, which Bill knows about. I'll go over briefly.
Yeah, give him a taste of that.
Yeah, basically, when I was in Boy Scouts, I was staff at a training course, and there was this really, really annoying kid named Elon. Yeah. And whenever
who now owns Tesla,
probably
Elon Musk owns Tesla.
He was one of those kids. But he was the kind of thing, when you told him something and then contradicted it or asked him to change his gear, he couldn't just go with the flow.
Right.
He had to like ask why, or you had to argue with him for a while. And his catchphrase that became, but the man said, but the man said, no, but we're going to have lunch now and then go back to this later.
We got to go. We got to change up the plans.
But the man said.
Elon, but Elon, the thing is that now the plan has changed. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the main building and we're going to get all of our gear and then we're going to get ready to go on the bus.
But the man said.
I know the man said that we could, but now we can't. So
now
but
Sheldon
the
Cooper.
Man said.
Right. And that's just imagine that.
I'm waiting for you to blow up on me.
No, it's not going to happen.
And these days he's known by the name of Sheldon Cooper.
Basically. It's one of those cases where, no, it's not Asperger's. No, not at all. No. He doesn't have a thing. All right. So now, I think, if I remember correctly, we're sliding into the email section of the show, correctly? Let me see. Are we still putting a show out? Yeah, we're still recording. Wow, it's amazing. Okay, so Palmer's still here. That's good. All right, so emails.
Lots of emails.
We get lots and
lots of emails.
We get emails. All right, there you go. There's your musical.
Bill.
Yeah.
This officially marks the first time in a show proper that you played that.
That's correct. That's correct. Mm-hmm. And that is the extent of my skill and talent with it too. I can make it seem like maybe I know what I'm doing, but then he asks me to do something. I'm like, oh, I can't. I don't know. I can make a noise and a rhythm. All right, so
maybe something that sounds like MASH.
Come on, let's bang these out, Bill.
Let's bang them out. You want to bang them out?
Let's bang them out.
What do we got?
We got a couple of emails, bro.
Let's go quick.
So we did this one already because that was the piss first piss. And the next one is from Jason C. You may know him better as Uncle Jay.
Hey,
Uncle Jay. I'm doing it over here.
How you doing, Mr. C?
Hey, how you doing? So he says, in the subject line, it's all caps, and it says, Bill, you some bitch.
You some bitch.
You some bitch.
Somebody's in trouble.
It seems like it. He starts to email up, hello, mofos. I fucking miss you guys. I had one hell of a time last week. Can't wait to come back. Because I was having such a blast and the show went off the rails in the best way possible, Uncle Jay made a few errors that he would like to correct for the audience.
Oh, okay.
I would like to point out that Uncle Jay talks in third person. Okay. Point 01. He doesn't just list one. It's 0.
1. Okay.
Okay.
We're
0,
going to be
1.
here for a while.
Well, yeah, right. That means it gets up to 11, right?
Double digits.
Going to double digits here.
We're hitting at least 10. Point 1 is that during last week's Meanwhile section, I recommended a film called Deserto or Desertio or however he says it. Desierto. I incorrectly labeled the director as Jonas Cuarón as Alfonso Cuarón's brother, when actually Jonas is Alfonso's son.
Okay. So it's still all in the family.
So basically, he's starting off this email with some retractions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's blow through them so we can get on to the meat of the deal.
Sure. So he says on point 2 that when discussing Carrot Top's 1998 cinematic effort, chairman of the board, I stated that Alan Arkin was in the film, but that's also incorrect. The actor I was thinking of was Jack Warden. I also understand that this information is not worth the breath you're wasting right now as you speak. Gets in the laugh because it's true. All right, so then point 3 is, most importantly, I stated that the cigar I was smoking was a true Castle Java. Well, I must have been smoking some serious heroin because the correct info for that cigar is a true Astate Java. This is just in case the wicked Theorians wish to seek out such smokables. Uncle Jay sincerely apologizes for these errors. Also, please tell Bob to record Milk-Fed Blues as I wish to loop it on a CD and play it in my Jeep. This will be the soundtrack to my life as I drive across New Jersey in attempts to discover myself.
That's his name for my little jam session, little jam riff.
All right, so he says, and may the fuck be with you. Uncle Jay.
That's a catchphrase.
That's a catchphrase. May the fuck be with you. So thanks for that, Uncle Jay. It was good to see you. It was good to have you. And it's good to see you back in the chat room again, hanging out with the kids in the chat. Right. So what is this one? I don't know. Is this spam? This one. Ooh, who is this?
Is it from a Nigerian prince?
I thought so for a moment because I didn't recognize the handle. So let's go with this. Oh, okay. This is a newbie. This is a new person.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I was trying to see if I could catch a name and get some familiarity, but I really couldn't. This is from Anthony.
Okay.
Yo, Anthony, how you doing?
Yo, Anthony!
Hey, forget about it.
How's your bag of balls, huh?
See, there's a huge difference on Staten Island between Anthony and Tony.
Yeah.
They're completely different kinds of people.
And maybe even Anthony.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Ant.
Yeah, and Ant is a whole thing, too.
Because we have a lifelong friend who we sometimes call Ant.
Yeah. Their birth certificates may be the same, but they're completely different people.
They're very different people.
Yes.
So, So here's the thing. Show's got images. Agent Palmer using Twitter mic makes more than a lawyer. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what this is.
Well, Bill Reed...
This is some kind of spam. I don't understand. Agent Palmer, and he works only 20 hours a week from all over the world? Truth or BS? I had to dig in and find out for myself. There's a link. I'm not clicking it. He makes $350K per year, working only 20 hours per week from all over the world. So this is some kind of generated spam.
While Bill reads this to figure out exactly what's going on, I'm going to entertain the audience with more quotes from Walter Sobchak of The Big Lebowski.
Oh, how about not?
So you might want to do...
Hold on a second.
So I didn't know I made that much.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, the checks must be getting lost in the mail or something.
I don't know.
Go to your old house.
This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass.
Thanks for distracting me.
All right, so Anthony's nobody. We got to get rid of the email. If Anthony's a real person, send another email.
Yeah, I guess so.
Explaining.
There's a lot of links and there's like images that blocked. Hey, if you're already making money, hip-hop, rapper money, and popping bottles by the pool with girls surrounding you in bikinis, then ignore this email. But if not, then clicking the links in this email, the next most important thing you need to do. The only thing this is missing is that, like, I made a small fortune from classified ads in my one-room basement apartment. And you can do it, too.
Right.
Bill, can I tell you that it is an honor that
somehow
you have been
no, it is an honor to
spam for the show, right?
No, it is an honor to be name dropped in the only spam email you have ever read on the show, despite the fact that you have threatened to read the other ones.
I used to read the Nigerian Prince. You know, we've got money for you ones, but they disappeared. So, but that's the thing. I thought it was legit.
You might want to do a scan on your computer.
Yeah.
Because evidently someone's getting your information.
Well, the thing was, that's why I stopped posting the email out in the real world, because people were like, well, people will just do scans via the internet for anything that's got an email just posted to it now. Not just gathering them from other emails. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why a lot of people put dots or break up their email address when they print it out somewhere. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. Even on like a post where I'm like, hey, send us emails. It's in the graphic. It's in the image that I post up, but I don't type it into the post anymore. So anyway, let's move along. Let's find something much more better. Because you know what I got now? I got a Steph mail.
Sammy.
Oh, Steffi, how you doing?
Yeah, Stephanie. She says, hey, you guys. I'm lounging around today on this rainy day, watching videos on the interwebs and planning vacation stuff for my trip to Germany in April.
Show off.
Braggart. So my question this week is simple. On a dreary, cloudy weekend day, what do you do? What do you enjoy to do when the rain keeps you indoors?
Well, we know that Ed likes to watch a 3-hour-long German comedy.
He'll go anywhere. He'll go out of his reach to go see something that joyous. So what's some indoor type fun, I guess? Watching videos on a dreary, cloudy day. Well, to be honest with you, I'm in a basement apartment with not very much windows. So I don't know it's dreary or cloudy. Every day's
when you wake up, you don't know if it's daytime or nighttime.
Yeah, I really don't.
You got to check the clock.
I mean, the go-to is always Star Trek. That's got to be the...
That's just an endless supply?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I always thought that the go-to was podcasting.
Well, no, because podcasting that's all I have in my ears all day, going to and from work. Like I don't listen to radio music stations,
right.
I go through podcasts.
But you don't absorb them when you're home, though. Really?
No,
either. You do it like during travel. That seems to be when you consume the most of that.
When I'm traveling, or like when I'm working on something, and I need to focus on the work, and I have something in the background.
Like I can't split my attention type of project. Sure. Like simple stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I need my eyes, but the ears can.
Right.
So like when you're listening to our podcast while writing up some of your Excel sheets for the podcast.
Sometimes, yeah.
What were you gonna say, Palmer?
I was going to say one of my favorite pastimes is scrolling through the Amazon Prime or Netflix queue. not watching anything, just scrolling through it.
Yeah,
you go there to find something to watch, but all of a sudden you just realize, oh shit, I've been here for an hour.
And that is the one thing about all streaming services.
Yeah.
I don't find them intuitive. I don't.
It's rare.
Yeah,
it's rare. And because if they're not ever the good ones, the ones that kind of do have a flow and feel good, are still not that great because they're geared to be usually pushing certain stuff in your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's very, very intuitive. It's not perfectly intuitive. I guess that's a thing. You had something, Palmer? I thought you were gonna.
That's what I had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I would like to click on something and then look through an alphabetical list.
I like to pick on something.
I don't know how they organize stuff. It makes no sense to me.
Right.
Like there's no like too. I would like to be able to sort my choices how I like.
Oh my god! Like if Netflix could give me, like, let's say like it still had to be by some kind of bullshit algorithm, like by my favorites or by my I just couldn't go through. Like I would love to pick that shit because they'll give you 25 different ways they're gonna search that stuff out for you, but I feel like none of them is really right.
No,
I'll say it's pretty close, but I'll second what you said, Bill. I don't give a shit
what did I say?
About the alphabetical or any of that other stuff. Just tell me, like, because you watched such and such. All right, I get it. I'll scroll through that. But don't go because you watched movie A, because you watched movie B. Romantic comedies. No. Just base all of my suggestions based on what I've already watched. That's enough for me.
See, like I think the exact opposite. I don't think what I've watched before should have any bearing.
Because then you feel like they're making exclusions on suggestions.
Exactly.
You would much rather have it be a thing where like
I want the ocean in front of me.
I want the ocean in front of me, and then like let me pick by what criteria to filter them through.
Exactly.
By genre or maybe by length. Sometimes that's an interesting thing too, to say like, you know what, I want to watch something that's like 45 minutes long. Yeah. What's and pull that.
Or I want an easy way to go through an IMDb link.
Yeah.
And just find everything that guy's been in, and I want a list of everywhere that movie's streaming. Like I want that database to.
I want to watch his career in chronological order.
Yes.
Well, and I will tell you this, based on what I know you have watched, they are probably recommending everything to you.
That is, you're going to have a wide gamut, I would think.
Pretty much.
I mean, you would think so, right? I mean,
you would think, but you know what?
It doesn't feel like it?
Because I feel like I use certain streaming services for certain things.
Sure. No,
I watch a lot of TV shows on Amazon Prime. I watch a lot of documentaries on Netflix. And that's kind of, and I
watch a lot of moose porn on Canadian Tube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy. But that's me, Yeah. So anyway, back to the email question of cloudy, dreary day inside. What do you do to pass the time? I don't know these days that I really chase any of my hobbies that I used to really. Like on that kind of a day, I guess I would say, you know what, I would just kind of kick this kind of question over to writing or drawing or painting or something like that. But I haven't chased any of that shit in a while. I really should probably.
You know what? I really like driving in bad weather. Like when it gets raining outside, sometimes that's when I will take a spin on the highway.
Okay, someone's got.
And now we know how Ed's going to end.
Yeah. No, I find it exciting. It's the dark and the wet and everything else, and
nothing better than like shutting off the headlights, closing your eyes, and just gunning it.
Getting that.
That's kind of like how our grandfather died
feel
recently.
the feel of the resistance of the puddles against your tires, and never quite knowing if you're gonna make it. I find that exhilarating.
It's a wonder. Yeah. Okay. All right. The more you know. All right. So thanks for the email, Steph. That's pretty much gonna run that through. Unless Palmer's got something. Dreary days. No, not really.
You know what? The only other thing I'd say is
do you do the same shit every other day? Was that maybe a book?
Maybe a book.
Write one, read one, stand on one, use it for a booster seat. Like what? Maybe
whatever.
a book. You're gonna eat it? Like maybe a book. Maybe a book. I'll boil it, saute. I don't know. Anything.
Maybe a crack. You know what it is? After I spend an hour scrolling through Netflix and realizing I've been on there for an hour without actually watching anything, I turn it off and I open a book and I read it.
There you go. Random books. I like it. All right, so let's jump over to Wesley. He's got an email for us. Don't all scream at once.
Okay.
Yay!
This is fucking I was stalling on my own and I got jammed up.
Nihilists.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I mean, say what you want about the tenets of National Socialism. Dude, at least it's an ethos.
That's what I'm saying. At least it's a fucking stance. All right.
So, Ed, are you going to choose a different character for randomness and random quotes every week from here on out?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
That was a fitting.
That sounds like
you know what? You know what he's doing? He's a living soundboard right now. Like when I don't have, he's my like a version of Fred from the Howard Stern show. Like I just don't have all the sound clips at my disposal. So he'll find an appropriate one and drop it on you. So I wish that I had a button. Like I wish he was closer. I could push him like a button and just be like, and he'd spit something out. Like I could just be like, poke, and he'd have something. But now is not the time. Hey, you Cybermen, is how Wesley starts this one. If you could combine any two villains from any universe to make a supervillain that is the hardest to beat, who would it be? Combine any two supervillains from any universe to make he doesn't say super duper, but I will, a super duper villain.
That's easy.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
That's easy.
All right, Palmer, you said easy first. What do you got?
I got Cobra-Tron.
Cobra what? Who?
Cobra-Tron.
Cobra-Tron.
Cobra Commander and Megatron.
And Megatron?
Cobra-Tron.
All right. He just turns into a snake?
Yeah,
I guess,
pretty much.
You know, okay.
A really small one, because for everything that we know about Megatron, he turned into a small gun.
Well, here's the thing. I would say I'm pretty sure there's a gun called a Python. So he probably turns into that one.
Fair enough.
All right, Bob, you had something maybe?
Yeah, Darkseid and Thanos.
Darkseid and Thanos. They're basically like cousins anyway, I feel like, right? Isn't that always the accusation? Is that they're like half dozen of another or something like that?
Well, I mean, you know what? They're all under the same family anyway. That could happen.
I mean, one guy's gray, one guy's purple.
One's DC, one's Marvel.
One's from space, the other guy's from space.
One's the Destroyer and one's the Mad Titan, all right?
That's true. One is literally in love with death.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
I know, right?
Really?
I mean, I know, right?
Come on, Deadpool is too.
Yeah, that's true. He pretty much did steal that whole angle
really.
from Death from Thanos.
That's their whole story.
Yeah. It was,
No, I think
Thanos did it first.
Well, the reason Thanos is pissed off all the time is now because of Deadpool.
Deadpool stealing
and
her affections.
Death being in love with Deadpool and not being in love with him.
Mm-hmm. You know, the rumor is that supposedly they're keeping that in the Avengers movies, that he will still be trying to court
death.
Yes.
The
isn't
Marvel,
that the line?
Because Marvel has an embodiment of death, like an entity. You know, it's basically just a skeleton in a cloak.
Right.
But for people who don't know, that would be weird. But anyway. So combine two villains, Ed, for a super villain.
Oh, no. This is a very easy answer.
Okay, fair enough.
Xenomorphs.
What?
And Black Manta.
Wait a minute. Xenomorphs from...
The aliens from Alien.
Oh, okay.
And Aliens.
Okay.
Wow, so that's a really big, weird-looking head.
Yeah.
Because Black Manta, that's the problem with Black Manta.
Mm-hmm.
Black Manta, like, on paper is, like, cool until you see him. And you're like, hey!
Hey, let me tell you something
saying.
right now.
There's a lot of guys like that,
I'm talking
bro.
directly to James Wan.
Oh.
He has that fucking helmet. He wears that fucking helmet in the movie. If he doesn't wear that helmet...
You know it's going to turn into, like, one of those deep-sea diving jar bell helmets, Cuba Gooding Jr., freaking...
I'll just say this straight out, Jimmy boy.
Yeah.
If he's not wearing that helmet, you have no balls.
No balls.
Ooh,
You got no balls.
No balls.
No balls.
No balls.
Says Ed. That's what Ed said.
No huevos.
It's a new segment. You heard what Ed said? He said you got no balls. All right, so so there's that. And he's got a couple other questions. He goes, if you were to try cosplaying a character, who do you think you'd be able to act or embody the most, I guess, to act most like?
I could do anything, bro.
Just
give me the fucking part.
So you're Nick Cage is what you're saying.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm a protector.
Whoa.
I'm a character protector.
Jesus.
I'm thinking John Goodman.
All right, that's what you're feeling about? You feel like you're in a John Goodman phase? I really don't know. I think there's probably a difference between saying like, oh, maybe I could pull this guy off visually versus like acting it out. Like, is that a thing? Like in cosplay, like you got to act like that person all day.
Visually, I think it's more like George Clooney, but physically, I'm more like John Goodman.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that's how I feel. I know that, like, hey, like, you know,
from here up, it's George Clooney. From here down,
is that how that breaks up? Oh, okay. I feel like, you know, I'm all like, you know,
I'm George Clooney from the neck up.
Yeah, you're George Clooney from the neck up. I'm feeling like I'm all
John Goodman from the neck down.
I'm all Bradley Cooper on the outside, but I'm really like Ed Gein on the inside. You know what I mean?
I would think you're more like Ed Wood on the outside.
No, all right. I'm Ed Wood on the outside, but I'm Ed Gein on the inside.
Without the scissors.
No. I got a little slice of Dexter in me.
But seriously, cosplaying as anyone?
Yeah.
It's got to be Thumbelina from Total Recall.
Who? Anyone that you?
No, Thumbelina. That's who I would cosplay as. I think I can embody that character.
I mean, the spirit,
the
soul for sure. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not gonna get into logistics, but you know, hey, whatever. That's a joke, folks. If you're on the inside, all right. So, mild joke. So,
mild.
I guess the kind of follow-up character we kind of answered it is, what character do you most look like? I don't know. Character. I'm a character. People have told me that all my life. You know, so.
Well, evidently,
they say. Wait, hold on, Bill. Do they say you are a character or you have character?
No, that I am one.
No.
That I am.
Okay. All right.
Let me tell you something about Bill. He's a character.
Yeah, you know, that guy. Yeah, he's a fucking
He's
character.
a character.
He's a character. Keep your eye on him. All right. Stay 20 feet away, but keep your eye on him. All right.
And you remember John Reap, stand-up comedian?
Not off the top.
From Hickory, North Carolina. He is a bit. Everyone ever says, "Oh, he's a character."
Oh, is that what you hear?
Translation: he's retarded. I saw him dancing naked at Sears
or Walmart. All right.
The Piggly Wiggly.
That's a good place. What is your favorite character in anything?
Jesus,
it's a broad question. It really is.
Wow, you know, that's kind of hard to answer because it's like so broad you never really thought of it yourself.
Well, you know what? I think you could probably say if it doesn't come to you, you're not that guy. But I'm sure there are people, like if you said that, they'd be like, oh, Captain Kirk or Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like there are just certain people that would be like, I'm obsessed about this one thing, which means I'm obsessed with this one guy or this one character.
Right.
That's my favorite of all things.
Yeah, it depends on the mood. It depends, you know.
Why are you going to bring logic into it, Ed?
Not really. It doesn't depend. Bill's right. It doesn't depend on the mood. You should either have it in your head when the question's asked or not.
You should, but I think that's just how it falls. It's either like you might have a go-to for that, or I think the majority of people probably be like, "Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that."
Right.
So there's no standout. No.
Actually, we better end sooner. We won't have an after show.
Well, how long are we running?
We're
2:10.
Yeah.
2:10?
Yes.
Whoa. All right. So you had something else, Palmer, to say?
I said I do have one. And
okay.
It's actually the unnamed character that becomes named for Harry Palmer in the movies. But the unnamed character in the books is by far my favorite.
All
bar none.
All right. Fair enough. So another question he's got here. What's the nerdiest thing you have done? Does a podcast count?
Yeah.
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 I think I'm living. Hey man, I'm trying it right now.
I think once you're like putting yourself out there talking about the nerdy things that you like, that becomes the nerdiest thing you do.
I think.
Yeah.
Well,
could be anyway.
You know what? To be honest, I don't think I can judge that objectively.
Well, that's true. You are on the inside.
I mean, the nerdiest thing I've ever done is probably build a desktop computer.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But that's not something I would go and do every day.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So
Palmer.
I was going to go very meta. Like when I was in high school, I used to play Magic the Gathering. But I'd say the geekiest thing I ever did was when I did a series for my blog writing about Magic the Gathering.
That's a little bit of a commitment. That's a signifier that you're definitely into that shit. I mean, that's...
Or, as someone might say, special.
Oh, Bob. He's not that big a deal. All right, so with that, that's gonna
special meaning retarded.
I knew.
Oh, I thought you was being special too.
No, well, maybe.
sometimes.
Oh man, that got meta. Okay,
The mentally challenged or vertically challenged, one of those things.
I'm meta challenged. There was levels. Yes.
Bill, have another drink.
I'm gonna. In the meantime, let's wrap up this sumbitch. Thanks for the emails to everybody. Jason, Wesley, Steph, that weird one from that thing, Anthony, or that person, if it's a real person.
Spam bot.
Yeah, the spam bot.
Spamthony.
Thomas Jr. Jacksiones. He sent in a PvP this week, which you can do too. If you'd like to, send us emails of any kind, any sort, to podcast@wickedtheory.com. And
that was .com.
Yeah, is that what that was?
Yes.
Palmer, I will call you back. I just hung up on him. He loves that shit. Yeah, and so we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back for the rest of the show. Ed's got a little bit of a thing.
A little bit of a bit.
A little bit of a bit. We'll play with it. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll grow. Right? You like that?
Maybe.
You like that? You like that setup?
Yes.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Pervert.
Just in the show, Bill.
Okay, fair enough. All right, you can find Ed on Twitter.
At Edward O'Hare TBD.
You can find my brother Bob on Twitter.
At Bob WTPC.
Of course. And you can find me on Twitter at Wicked Theory. And you can find the show, wickedtheory.com. All that good stuff. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Bob, take us out of here.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.